2, 1, go. What's up, Bobzilla? First in here, as usual.
Hell yeah, Bobzilla.
Go ahead and send that tweet, Surfbone. Or Discord notification, whatever you're done.
Yep. Yeah, I already did. Oh, she just said tag me in.
Been waiting all day for this. What's up, Tanner? Bro, using the strongest Akatsuki member as the background? Of course.
Of course.
About time you get to work. Yeah, I know it. I've been lazy, huh? Oh, I know what I need.
Just been busy, bro.
Facts. People don't even know. They don't even know.
Nope, they do not. Hashi saying tag me in while also debating somebody in my Discord.
What the heck?
He's like, tag me in. Oh, we got the boy Keenan in the chat, boys.
What's up, Keenan? Man,
Dude, it says Noodles solos no diff.
That's facts. There we go. Lock that down. Booyah! What's up, chat? Keenan, you get mod, bro. There we go.
You gonna put the
I should
probably put
our, back up.
Yeah, I was gonna say put like our characters up in front of it.
Not the background.
Yep.
Boop. Just.
Yep. Someone asked who you got, Itachi or Minato.
Itachi or Minato? I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out in the video. Didn't the chat box used to be translucent? Am I tripping about that?
Yeah. I don't know why it's like that, to be honest.
Well, it's going to block the screen if we don't make it translucent, so let's figure that out. It's been a minute since I've streamed.
Yep. We could be answering some questions while Noodles does that.
How to make YouTube chat translucent.
Yep. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly says, Noodles, my champ, how you doing?
Doing good, buddy, doing good. Well, I'm gonna send y'all over here real quick.
Someone said, can you do another video of you reacting to, in his own words, Diego Night?
Diego Night?
Diego Night.
Maybe, bro. Maybe. I don't know if I want to do that. What's going on, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly? I don't know why I said the full name there. How you doing? I'm doing good. What's up, Bobo? What stops Itachi from bodying Hashirama with the Tsukiyomi? Bringer of Darkness, maybe?
Yeah. Like, the ultimate move to use against Genjutsu users that allowed him to fight Madara.
It's basically the same thing that, like, Kabuto kind of did, right? Kabuto still got caught in it, though, and at least in the anime. Noodles, you've been gone too long! Where have you been? This isn't okay! Don't worry, bro. I'm back. I'm back and better than ever. Have you seen the NC Hammer Naruto plot holes? No, I haven't. I'm sure it's terrible. I'm sure it's terrible. Your Discord is so helpful. Thanks for making it. Appreciate that, Mark. Noodles has yet to drop an Itachi video. Man, it's coming. I'm cooking it, man. I'm cooking. That's the next one. It's next. I promise. It's coming. Here, I'm going to watch this video real quick. If y'all hear it, my bad.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to G-Rated Family. So what you want to do is in order to create this, you're going to want to create a browser resource. So browser source. Okay, so you create that, and we can call this, we'll do this chat demo, because we're just default thing right there, which is for OBS Studio.
Someone
and you can
said,
see
do
up
a
in the corner in the
Shibai
back,
video, he's
that's
5D.
all you have right there, see? So what you want to do for this is first you're going to want to go to your
Somehow I
YouTube
doubt
chat
that very
interface
much
and
so.
live streaming. Go to the stream now, and where you can see the live chat here, what you want to do is click on these 3 buttons and then go to pop out chat. So that will pop out the chat, and then what you want to do is copy this link right here. So you might have to do this before every stream because sometimes this link, so chat demo right in there, you're going to want to, after you've copied that link, put the pop out chat.
Body background color, yeah, see that.
Ryan Collins, if the Sharingan was able to see through it, then it wouldn't have been like something that like and Madara would have just Genjutsu'd Hashirama at any point during their fight.
Yeah, what people don't realize is Madara also has the Tsukiyome.
Yeah.
Like he actually like uses it on Obito in the manga, but people overlook it.
Yep.
He said he literally put, like, as an old man, he puts Obito under the Tsukiyome, and he says, "This is the jutsu that I'm going to cast upon the world." Literally referring
While you're
to
doing that,
Tsukiyome.
Noodles, we already got 2 donations back.
Let's go! That's what I'm talking about!
Yep, the first one is Tanner from Tanner1, $5. I feel like pissing off the Minato fan base today with the facts. Tsunade Hokage above Minato Hokage. Since she's a Hokage during the war arc. Also, Mei above Minato. Cope.
Alright, let's see if this fixes it.
Love to see it. Then we got Saucy with the $5. What's up, Fattas? Been a good minute, not gonna lie.
Yep, what's up, buddy? Appreciate the 5, Saucy. Appreciate the 5, Tanner. Tsunade Hokage greater than Minato Hokage? I don't know. That's a crazy position, but honestly, not that crazy. After all, he did lose to a splinter. Sorry, chat. I'm trying to figure out this background stuff. For some reason, I'm fumbling. I'm fumbling the bag. Well, I'm getting the bag while I'm fumbling, so I honestly don't know if I'm fumbling anything. Like, I haven't even began the reaction yet.
So I'm saying Six has been saying a lot of hot takes since he knows you've been gone to debunk. I've been seeing how started moving differently since you've been gone.
You think Six has been moving? He's been moving different since my absence? I've been keeping them in check. What's up, Loco? Good to see you in chat, bro.
Here, what up, Loco? Six has been getting too comfortable with his takes since he's known you've been gone.
He's like, oh, he won't see this.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. And it's still funny how a lot of people really like our reaction to Six, and I've been told by a couple of people now we're buds with Six. We're chill. We're all cool. But we just have people
right
saying
there.
that they like
so
our
what
reactions
you want to do now
to Six.
Is okay. So if you click
because
OK,
he's
you have to
because he just has those
so it's
like
https
this like thing about him that just makes
chat
people not like him.
Septipus.com. So here's the link right here if you guys need to figure out how to do that.
So just
and
like even
what
though
you can do
Noodles
here
may not be the most popular guy in the community,
pick the different sizes, the different colors, different things for
I'm the most popular.
Outlook is going to be.
I'm the most popular.
So if we're just basically using the default stuff, all we have to do is copy this and put that in the CSS
Saucy
window
back again with the $2. Noodles, how much you weigh now?
400 pounds.
And do a Control C.
I've only been eating more since the swag debate.
And then this chat down link here.
That's crazy.
CSS.
Just kidding. I'm 500
this stuff in
pounds.
here, so delete that. Oh, there we go. So
Noodles getting the queso levels of
that same CSS code that you just pulled out there.
Man, the CSS code is just not working anymore. Why YouTube gotta do this to me? This don't make no sense. No type of sense. Alright, let me see if I can figure this out. know what? Chat box, you're just going to have to be shrunk this stream. Sorry, boys.
Unfortunately.
I'll move you over here. Alright. I'll just increase you a little bit. Just like that. Booyah. Just so we can see.
Loco said the streets be saying that Noodles is one Big Mac away from a heart attack.
Don't give me one, bro. Don't give me one. What is this video? What are we watching?
We be watching Minato versus Itachi.
Oh, I heard about this video. 6. 6! 6! What the fuck is this? What is this? 6! Minato! Versus who? God damn it! 6! Why are you showing me this dog shit? What is this? $5 from Tanner. Minato did lose to a splinter, so he can't handle Vapor Style. What the hell is Vapor Style? Vape God? Also, 100 healing Tsunade got stabbed by Madara Susano'o. So, Mei greater than Minato. Tsunade greater than Minato. Oh my gosh, Mei. Ah, the 6 video, man. Let's get into this, Surfbone.
POV 6 only makes YouTube videos so Noodles can react and get mad.
Facts.
Stat comparisons for later in the video.
Hold on, let's turn this up.
Itachi in a
It's quiet. It's quiet for y'all?
Yeah, it's quiet.
6? What the hell is this? How do I audio boost this? I don't even know what to do about this. Like, can I even do anything about this? I'll put on subtitles.
What their resistance to Genjutsu is.
Man, saucy back again with $5. Yeah, since 6 swag and Voldemort all fell off, you're pretty much my go-to for Naruto content, even if we hate each other.
Well, it is true that we've never seen Minato outright resist the Genjutsu. A ton of people, myself included, have made the argument in the past that Minato might have some sort of Genjutsu resistance, since he didn't seem all too scared of looking Obito in the eye when he fought against him.
Okay, so we already, like, basically what Six just said is, he said that Minato has some form of Genjutsu resistance, because he didn't look he wasn't all too scared of looking Obito in the eye. Okay, first of all, Six, he doesn't know who this guy is, at first. He doesn't know until, like, way later in the war arc who he is. For 2, what makes you think Obito has the Genjutsu of Itachi? Am I, like, confused about this?
It's like he assumes that he's Madara, but, like...
Yeah, he assumes he's Madara. But even then, it's like... Madara's not even really known for his Genjutsu. Does Minato, like, even think that Madara uses Genjutsu like that? Like, he's clearly reacting to all, like, he's more worried about, like, the teleportation and stuff, right? That's what he's, like, reacting to. He's not reacting to the Genjutsu. He doesn't even, like, Obito doesn't even use Genjutsu the whole fight, because he's not a Genjutsu user like that. So, he might make some kind of, like, pseudo headcanon argument, oh, the reason Obito didn't use it is because he knows Minato would resist it, or something like that, or... you bring up how Obito later in his life, Genjutsu Yagura, put Yagura, a perfect Jinchuriki, under a Genjutsu. But the thing is, that's way later in his life. This isn't the same Obito that fought Minato. So, Obito at this point in the series doesn't even provably have Genjutsu. He doesn't have Genjutsu that we know of. We only know that he vaguely uses one later on Yagura, which is a good feat, don't get me wrong. Go ahead.
Well, so someone just implied that the chat that Obito was controlling the Nine Tails at this moment, so that's true. Probably why it's probably why Obito didn't even use Genjutsu. And they also said that Minato implies that Obito is having trouble controlling the Nine Tails with Genjutsu.
He does actually have Genjutsu to control the Nine Tails, so maybe it's just the case that the Nine Tails then is because it's being controlled. He can't even focus on anything else. That's also a possibility. Regardless, Obito doesn't use any Genjutsu against Minato. This is also just, an implied feelings type argument. Like, you're like, Oh, I feel like he has some Genjutsu resistance because Obito doesn't use any on him, and he's not worried about looking him in the eye, right? It's just kind of like this narrative implied thing, right? So, no, I don't think Genjutsu was relevant in this fight with Obito and Minato, and I also just don't think this fight is a good look for Minato in general. I just don't think it's a good look. Also, just because you have a Sharingan doesn't mean you're innately good at Genjutsu. That's a misconception. Sharing just makes casting Genjutsu easier. It can put victims in a more deep Genjutsu. Yeah, it gives you access to, like, visual Genjutsu, but I do agree with you that there is no inherent, like, yes, you will be good with Genjutsu. It's just they tend to be good with Genjutsu, right? And Obito is good with Genjutsu. Genjutsu the Nine Tails and Genjutsu's Yagura later, but at the end of the day, and during the fight with Minato, he's already trying to control the Nine Tails with it. You know, I don't even remember if there's a scene, like, you can say maybe right here, but his eyes are kind of, like, diverted. He's not really looking him in the eye. Does he actually look him in the eye right here? You know, maybe he's just looking down, focusing at his mask or something. Maybe their vision is crossing. That's possible, I suppose. But at the same time, what's the real threat here? It's not Genjutsu. They're focusing on... He's already using a Mangekyo ability to teleport. And I'm pretty sure Minato would have already deduced at this point... No, and not even probably. He already has deduced at this point that there is what the Kamui does. He already figured out... This is one of the few intelligence feats in the series for Minato that's really good. He figures out the Kamui really quickly. He's the only person in the series that figures it out this fast. So, he figures out the Kamui just like that. And then he knows how to counter it. So he's thinking about how to counter it in this situation. He's not thinking about Genjutsu. And he knows that Obito has, like... He's using his Kamui, so he's not able to do anything else. So, like, when he's intangible, that's all he can do. He's intangible. He can't do anything else. He's in a completely different dimension. So, yeah. I just don't think that this fight has any relevance to Genjutsu, because at the end of the day, there was no Genjutsu used on Minato. There's nothing talked about in regards to Genjutsu. It's just this feeling type argument that, oh yeah, well, earlier in the series, they mentioned that Sharingan users, if you look them in the eye, you can get Genjutsu, and Obito can't use Genjutsu, therefore Minato has some kind of Genjutsu resistance, or Obito would have used it on him. Fact is, why didn't Sasuke use Genjutsu on Naruto? You know, why didn't Sasuke use Genjutsu on Momoshiki and Kinshiki and people like that, right? Because we don't know if they have Genjutsu resistance either. So do we just say it's implied that Kinshiki and Momoshiki have Genjutsu resistance because Sasuke never uses it on them? Maybe, but maybe he just doesn't think it would work either. You know, maybe it's just these feelings type arguments at the end of the day. You know, it's...
Here,
go ahead.
I found this statement, by the way.
Sure.
Look at this.
Let's look at it. All right. He says, if I trace my supports... If he's anything like Madara, he shouldn't be able to maintain the Nine Tails in a real space for that long. I have to entrust the village to the Lord Third and just take this guy down right here. So yeah, that's implying that, like, the Nine Tails is a lot to handle, which would be true, obviously. There's no hope for you. So, yeah. It just implies that the Nine Tails might be too much for him to handle, and he probably can't Genjutsu anything more than that right now. He has to maintain focus on just the Genjutsu on the Nine Tails, because he's not going to even be able to keep it in the space that long. Go ahead.
He even says later... He's like, he knows he's vulnerable when he attacks. It takes a long time to summon the Nine Tails. He won't want a lengthy battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Minato is Obito's already exhausting himself by having one control over the Nine Tails and the fact that he just summoned them to the Leaf Village. So
yeah, I agree.
Even after acknowledging the fact that he was an Uchiha, and not only that, but a Sharingan Genjutsu user. This could serve as proof that Minato has resistance to Genjutsu, but it could also serve as evidence that he's not all too savvy to fighting against an ocular Genjutsu user, as staring one directly in the eye is normally a death sentence, but it sort of got me thinking why this happened. Not only why Minato looked Obito directly in his eye, but why Obito didn't cast a Genjutsu on Minato. And I think it's possible that Obito couldn't cast a Genjutsu on Minato.
Yeah.
Because of his control of the Nine Tails.
Yeah.
It is stated by Chiyo that when you're going up against a Sharingan, if you're doing it one-on-one, you should probably run away.
Yeah, this was a statement I was talking about earlier in the series, that where they like mentioned that you shouldn't look any Uchi on the eye.
If you're doing it against two people, try and take the Sharingan user from his back. This to me implies that normally a Sharingan user isn't going to be able to put 2 people under a Genjutsu, and this tracks throughout the series for the most part. Have we ever seen
Here's the
Sharingan
problem,
user put
though.
2 people under a Genjutsu?
The only person that they say is capable of putting several people under a Genjutsu is Itachi. Go ahead.
Yeah, literally the scene right after this page is Kakashi being like, but that like two on one thing is not doesn't work because Itachi has the Mangekyo Sharingan and it's literally impossible to defend against.
Yeah.
Like fucking Kakashi is saying that, and he's the one that also has
They
the
say
Mangekyo Sharingan.
they say in the war when they're first hypothesizing about the Edo Tensei, if the Edo Tensei instead of, they didn't know they were Edo Tenseis at the time, or reanimations, they say that Itachi's the only one capable of controlling all of those people from that range, but it doesn't seem, I forget what the other ulterior reason they gave was, but they specifically mentioned the fact that Itachi was the only person capable of like controlling that many people. So like the fact is, Obito doesn't have as good of Genjutsu as Itachi. I mean, that's obvious. Like, just the amount of times there's like the most powerful Genjutsu statement for Itachi, and the amount of times that like his Genjutsu is the specific thing that's hyped up in the series. Obito was afraid of Itachi's prowess back then, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it's just like, there's not really a lot to prove that Obito not Genjutsuing Minato suddenly should mean that Minato would be able to resist the Genjutsu.
The answer to that question,
got $2 from Saucy. A live Sage, 1 Rinnegan Madara versus Jubito prediction.
Genjutsu, specifically ephemeral, aims to control you.
Sage Rinnegan Madara versus Jubito. I go Jubito. I go Jubito.
Outwitted rather than keeping them under permanent control.
Let me listen to this again.
Simply knocks both of them out with it. The person who has Genjutsu 2 people at once simply knocks both of them out with it rather than keeping them under permanent control. Obito also used a similar Genjutsu on both of Danzo's Hokage guards, keeping them in a daze after they'd been taken into the Kamui dimension. It's unknown what Genjutsu Obito or Kakashi used on these opponents, and it's not one that Itachi uses in character, or ones that I can reliably say that he has. So it's possible Minato knew about this Sharingan weakness, and that's why he didn't care to look Obito in the eye during their fight. However, that is just an assumption on my part, but I think it's far more likely than Minato just being dumb and basically asking to get Genjutsu'd by a Sharingan user, staring them directly in the eye. Nonetheless, that's obviously not
that
an
is
option
true,
for
honestly.
Minato to fight against Itachi.
Like he figured that the person he was going up against was Madara, and he's still
Yeah. I don't think Minato's being dumb here. I just don't think Minato thinks he's going to use Genjutsu because of the Nine Tails.
Yeah.
Like, he just simply doesn't think that Obito or Madara in this case was going to use Genjutsu.
Yeah. And again, this is like 14-year-old Obito, so it's kind of doubtful that he also has the ability at this stage to be able to Genjutsu many people at the exact same time, as opposed to just one, and especially if you're controlling the Nine Tails the whole time.
Yeah. Obito just wasn't trying to use Genjutsu? Yeah, I mean, that's also definitely possible. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Surfbone? You think that, like, what do you think Obito's doing in the situation? You think he's even caring about Genjutsu here? Like,
no. I mean, it's like you said, the whole point of this fight was to literally just end it within one shot.
Yeah, it's like the whole focus on this is literally just Minato countering the Kamui. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do with Genjutsu.
Like, maybe, like, say, like, even if, like, Obito was able to Genjutsu him, I think, he was just more so relying upon the fact that it's like, yeah, as long as I touch Minato, I win. Because he was about to touch him, and he's like, yeah, I have won this.
Yeah.
But he didn't think that the Kamui was going to be used to teleport above him, so
exactly.
Minato kind of outsmarted Obito in this instance. So
yeah, it was just straight outsmarting him. Outplayed.
And the only other way I could realistically see Minato getting around Itachi's Genjutsu is using shadow clones to increase his number, to turn the fight from a one-on-one in a sense. This works for a few reasons. One being it's shown in
shadow
the fight
clones
with Kakashi that Itachi's Genjutsu does not work on shadow clones of people, and two, if the Genjutsu
for one, this is a clone of Itachi. He only has 30% of his power. But it is true that it doesn't make sense for clones to be used. But yeah, I don't think shadow clones are the effective way to deal with Itachi. But let's listen to what he says first, and then we'll give a verdict on it.
Yomi then he'll drain a good deal of his stamina if it fails and he hits a clone with it. However, the same rule of running away from a Sharingan user doesn't directly apply in all ways to Itachi. Since when Naruto ran into him in the forest, he mentions that since Itachi can cast Genjutsu from his hands, it's almost like fighting two people at once, and it's shown pretty clearly in the fight that Naruto never even looks at Itachi's eyes, yet was still placed under Genjutsu. So it's likely that Itachi doesn't even have to point his finger directly at you in order to initiate the jutsu. Or maybe it just happened.
I think the thing is with Itachi, man, he can cast Genjutsu on you in like a less than a fraction of a second. It's like 1/100th of 1/1000th of a second, something like that. So it's like he doesn't even even if it didn't show Naruto looking him in the eye, he could have just like crossed gazes with him for a split second, like not even a second. So it's like he easily could have got Genjutsu, because this is the Tsukiyomi. Like, he got put in the Tsukiyomi, so they would have had to have crossed vision. It's not the finger Genjutsu. So, yeah. At least I think it's the Tsukiyomi. It looks like the Tsukiyomi, how he, like, warps the whole world. Like, it's just visually representative of what the Tsukiyomi does. But maybe it's some other Genjutsu. Either way, I think, like, this fight in particular is kind of a big counter to Shadow Clones, because the first thing Naruto says to Itachi is, I can go from 1 to 1,000 in this forest right now. He tells him he can just spawn 1,000 clones. And this is after the pain fight, too. So he's like, yep, literally right there. I can be any number from 1 to 1,000. And Itachi already had him in a Genjutsu. So it's like, you better have them Shadow Clones out quick. And Minato doesn't really use them like that. Like, he rarely ever uses Shadow Clones. He didn't use them against the Raikage. He didn't use it against the Earth Ninja in the fight with Kakashi. He didn't even use them really in the war. The only times he used them was, like, when he was doing the portal thing, you know. Not the portal, you know, I'm talking about that barrier that he brought up with the other Hokage. So, yeah, there's just a lot of things in this in particular that kind of go against Minato just having, like, adequate ability with Shadow Clones. Like, he does use Shadow Clones, but, like, when have we seen him, like, catch people off guard like Naruto does, you know? I'm trying to even think of a scenario where he, like, successfully used a Shadow Clone in an attack. Do you know of one, Surfbone?
Say that again?
Do you know of a situation where Minato used a Shadow Clone successfully?
Or Minato used a Shadow Clone successfully?
Yeah.
I can't really think of one. He doesn't often really use them.
Yeah. Anyone in chat
Also,
think of
for
one?
some reason, I'm echoing through your mic, like, slightly.
What about now? Is it better?
I think so. Yeah, I can't hear myself anymore.
My bad. I had you turned up loud so I could hear the video.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
A matter of how many clones Minato summons when he fights Itachi, and if he does it off rip, knowing he's fighting a Sharingan user. Minato does only make one clone in the war arc while he's using KCM.
See.
Realistically, without the Nine Tails, he should be able to make far more than that. This leads me to believe he was just using the amount of clones he would normally use and not relying on Kurama's chakra to aid him in making them.
See, that's what he says, right? He said the amount that he would normally use. So he uses one clone, like normally. Like he would just use one clone against Itachi. I don't think that's going to be effective enough.
Minato does also have access to giant summoning animals, so
Well,
even if he
I guess
does
the question is, like, when it comes down to this, like, we already know that Itachi does just use Genjutsu in character, like, immediately.
Several times.
So it's just like you would have to basically say, I guess if we're talking about KCM Minato in this instance, is he fast enough to just blitz Itachi before anything could really happen?
I don't think so. It depends on which Itachi, though, because maybe if we're talking about, like, near-dead sick Itachi, like, there's a case to be made there that Minato's faster, because he scales to KCM1, and that Itachi is, like, only really scaling to, like, the heavy Sasuke, maybe above heavy Sasuke. So it's like, I don't really think he might be faster than, like, that Itachi might be faster than Deidara, so you can maybe make an argument that Itachi's maybe somewhat similar to the Raikage's level of speed or something like that. So, I don't know. I don't think that sick Itachi is really what's being compared here, though, because we're just talking about the near-dead Itachi. Sure, yeah, Minato might get a W there, but if we're talking about, like, Edo Itachi, I don't think this is fair.
Yeah, especially if it's Edo Itachi, he doesn't have any win cons. Like,
No, he
Minato
doesn't.
has no win cons whatsoever, even if he's in case.
He could try to Reaper Death, but that's about it. But the only thing with Itachi is he obviously has tons of win cons. It's just the fact that he's not that fast. He's really not. He's above Heavy Sasuke, though, which is impressive. It is impressive. So he's faster than Data and shit, so...
Are we talking about Edo Itachi?
No. We're talking about Sick.
Oh, sick Itachi.
Yeah.
My bad. So I was about to be like, Itachi's only as fast as Heavy Sasuke? Like,
No.
what are we talking
Sick
about?
Itachi.
Yeah.
Minato does have other sealing jutsu. Don't bring up the Biju seal. don't bring up the seal meant for Biju.
I hear this argument all the time, and the problem is that although Minato is implied to have other sealing jutsu in his arsenal, one, we don't know what any of those sealing jutsu are or what their potency is. So we can't reliably talk about them in a versus matchup because you're basically guessing what they are and what they can do and how powerful they are. So especially if we're going to say that Itachi is capable of sealing an Edo Tensei, you would have to assume a lot of what Itachi has in his arsenal when we don't reliably have any information going off of how whether or not they can do that. Literally, the only character in the war arc who has that stuff on hand is Gaara.
Yeah, Gaara can use it anytime. The Sealing Corpse can, but they literally prepped for that. So the seal, so that the long paper seals that they had. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't really think Minato has a way to seal an Edo Tensei besides the Reaper Death, which is suicide. But that's at least a tie. Even if I give Minato sealing, I don't think it changes anything. Even if I allowed him to have a sealing jutsu that magically could seal the Edo Tenseis, I think that Itachi would body. So
yeah, the if it does get to the Reaper Death, he would have to be in Cassian in order to effectively make it work. Otherwise, Minato's just too weak to be able to finish it. Because effectively, he would have to be stronger than Itachi in order to complete it and kill him and then make it a tie. But considering I don't see that happening unless he's in KCM too,
Itachi is a mismatch for 90% of Shippuden. That's not a lie. That's straight facts.
One clone, he could summon one of them.
Hold on, let's see what he says about these animal summons.
Minato does also have access to giant summoning animals, so even if he does make only one clone, he could summon one of them as well to help out in the fight.
You don't want to do that.
No,
you don't want to do that.
No.
Alright, Gamabunta, you're getting Amaterasu, buddy. You're done immediately. Itachi mogs Gamabunta and he's dead. He just peeks over at him and Gamabunta's literally remember that giant dog? The dog that was beefing with Gamabunta and tearing apart the other toad that's stated to be equal to Gamabunta. The dog that can split apart. Itachi bodied that in the war arc with an Amaterasu. He killed it, bro. He made it despawn. he made the splitting dog that everyone hypes up from pain despawn. So Gamabunta is immediately annihilated. He's a non-factor in this fight. It's not even relevant to bring him up. He's just getting trashed immediately.
And then it's not going to look good either if Itachi is just you know what? How about I just turn your summoning against you and then just fucking get you? Gamabunta, it's attack Minato right now.
Yeah, he just points his finger at Gamabunta with no Genjutsu resistance. Someone in chat tell me one Genjutsu resistance feat Gamabunta has. Tell me why Itachi doesn't point his finger at Gamabunta and he loses. I'll wait for the Mind Axe resistance feat for Gamabunta.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the Toska Blade. Let's not even talk about that. He just pokes him in the ass and he disappears. The Hydra.
It already doesn't help that the reason why Itachi just can't Genjutsu the dogs is because they're actively getting controlled by the Rinnegan. And it's you could
even
Itachi
then it's he just immediately sees them and Amaterasu's them. He doesn't even need I don't even know if he couldn't Genjutsu them. He just bodies them anyway. He had just had another one shot ability. So Gamabunta has logic manipulation. No, bro. Like, I'm sorry, Gamabunta, but you do not need to be in this fight. You like if Minato summons you, he's just wasting a fuck ton of chakra and killing you in the process.
You will either you will either die in the process or be an active detriment to Minato.
Yeah, there's no reality where Gamabunta gets summoned and it's beneficial.
As bad as it
Yeah, it's just like,
is,
you know what?
Maybe if he was fighting blind Itachi, he could be useful. Maybe if he fights blind Itachi. Go ahead.
Just full on blind. Maybe
Yeah.
like it's like why didn't Minato just summon Gamabunta there? It's like maybe because he knows like it's like, oh, if he controls one big large beast, he'll control the other one.
Man.
Or just Obito would just phase through it, so.
Yeah, I just read the comment from D-Hatch. I'm not even gonna read that.
hit Minato with
If he summons Gamabunta, Minato is purposely killing him.
Yeah, Gamabunta would fucking die. It's just not comparable, bro. It's just simply not comparable.
all the way at the top of Gamabunta is a really big stretch. I do think it's possible.
Hold on, what does he say?
Top of is I think saying he could hit Minato with a Genjutsu when he's all the way at the top of Gamabunta is a really big stretch.
Oh man, I got a statement for you. So you know the Yadasaka Madatama beads? Those like, it's kind of like the attack he used on the Chibaku Tensei.
Yup.
All right, let me show you the range on this. I do not know how to spell these.
This is also like implying that Itachi can't just jump up on top of Gamabunta.
Yeah, literally. It's this attack right here. This in the data book is stated to be able to attack for miles. Like, Itachi can snipe someone from miles away with this ability. If he can see from miles away, what stops him from genjutsuing him while he's on top of a toad?
Someone said it can travel 3,000 kilometers.
Yeah, it's literally 3,000 kilometers, bro. Like, what do you mean he can't look at the top of Gamabunta's head? Nate, grab that databook scan for me. 3,000 kilometers, bro. I bet Naruto verse.
I think it's really funny that, like, granted, 6 is just presenting this as, like, a possibility argument for how Gamabunta can be relevant. But it's funny that, like, his only real use in this fight is to get away from Itachi.
Yeah, it's just to put some distance between him and Minato, literally. He's just working as a body. But then what happens, like, he's sitting on top of, like, Gamabunta, and then Gamabunta gets Amaterasu, and he has to leave. No, bro.
He's like, no, get off. You'll be burned alive, Minato.
Fun fact, Yasaka no Magata, is that what they're called? Is also implied to be a spiritual weapon because of it being one of the 3 treasures alongside the Totsuka Blade and Yadamir. Alright, Nate sent me the scan. Beautiful.
Oh my god.
Dude, why is this so tiny?
It's tiny in, like... Oh, here we go.
Okay. That was the tiniest scan of all time. Releasing a God of War. Yasaka no Matagama. Releasing a God of War, one of the 3 treasures is thrown and will travel thousands of kilometers to pierce the enemy. This jutsu is Itachi's most powerful ranged attack. During the last Great Ninja War, he was activated with Susano'o. A Madatama looks like the Sharingan shape, only gigantic, and is thrown like a shuriken. It was used along with the Wind Style Rasen Shuriken and Killer Beast Tailed Beast Bomb to destroy Nagato's Chibaku Tensei. Yep. Yeah, so he can see for miles. Like thousands of kilometers, bro. Thousands of miles. He can see that, bro. It's crazy. It's actually insane. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
Yep. Well, chat, it looks like you're stuck with me now. Yeah, the Amaterasu works on the Toad Mouth. It works on Gamabunta. Very much true. Very true. Minato seals Itachi into Gamabunta's sword using the 8 trigram seal. Bro, you're reaching. Yo, how's it going, Loco? Also, thanks for the birthday wishes, guys. It is, in fact, my birthday today. Surf out here camping on the stream and not celebrating. There's not really much to do out here. Really, this is like the best way to celebrate my birthday. Be on a stream. Be hanging out with the boys.
Six laugh when I mentioned a second draft. True story. Are you his drafter? Like, do you write his scripts or something? What the heck?
But someone said like if the Amaterasu could work on the toad mouth, it definitely works on Gamabunta.
Yeah, it does. $10 from Kimimaro Heroes and Stan. Appreciate the 10, bro. Appreciate that. Give me 1 second, boys.
He did this on stream. He made the whole script and the video on stream and only does one draft for his videos. He only does one draft?
No wonder.
He only does one draft.
Dude, if y'all knew...
No wonder he
gets
gets these videos out so fast. He doesn't proof check his own shit. Like,
dude, if y'all knew how... I mean, I'm fine with getting, like, videos out quick. I understand, like, he's just pumping them out for, like, business sake. But my god, bro, if y'all knew how meticulous I was... How meticulous I am with my scripts. I get those things proofread 100 times by different people. Yeah. And then I'm going through it several times as well.
And the thing is, too, like, especially, like, y'all don't know how much Noodles pressed Naya when he originally brought up the whole multiversal argument, how much they, like, just went at each other for months on end, trying to make sure if this multiversal Naruto argument was as valid as he was claiming it was. Like, he was going at Naya the whole time. Like, he didn't just get convinced immediately that this was the case. Wait, Noodles, you there?
Yeah, I am. I had some company come over, so I'm trying to be quiet for a second. I forgot about it, so.
Oh, okay.
They'll be gone shortly. I'll explain in a minute, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh no, we got a $5 from Mobius. Minato is the fastest ninja, bro. He did a death speed run.
Youngest Hokage to die too.
Also, someone asked, how are the beads relevant to how far he can cast his Genjutsu?
If you can reason that he can throw a one of the beads thousands of kilometers, that means he has to see the target he's hitting, dude. That means he has thousands of meters of range. Like, he can see them from that far away. There's also a statement that the Mangekyo can see everything in the universe, but let's not even get into that. Like, just saying he's sitting on top of Gamabunta's head is not impressive to me. You know what I mean? Like, how is that impressive? How is that going to stop him from getting Genjutsu? How's that going to stop anything, really? It's not going to stop anything. You know what I mean?
How old was Hiruzen? He looked younger than Minato when Tobirama appointed him as Hokage.
I did the math once. He was in his, like, early to mid-20s. He wasn't as young as Minato. He was, like, mid-20s, basically.
Nate said Gamabunta would get hoed worse than Manda did. True.
Alright, I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
I do think it's possible he could hit Bunta with an Amaterasu, but I'll get into Amaterasu a bit later in the video. So, Minato...
Possible? No, it's not just possible. It's happening. Like, that's what he did to the summons pain used immediately. It's not possible. That's what's going down. Like, that is what is going to happen.
Around Itachi's Genjutsu, but Itachi's...
What?
Oh, no, I was just saying, Minato has just no counter to Amaterasu. If he gets hit once, it's over. Unless he's pulling like Raikage and it just chops his arm off.
The thing is, Itachi's faster than the Sasuke that was using the Amaterasu on the Raikage. So there's a high possibility he gets hit with it.
Genjutsu is pretty dangerous if it lands, and it could possibly mean the end of the fight. As far as how they compare...
Why is he saying it could possibly mean the end of the fight? Does he know what the Amaterasu does? It burns you until you are nothing. That's what it does. And it's the strongest offensive ninjutsu in existence, directly stated by two separate people, the two smartest characters in the show. It's stated by Sage Kabuto, and it's stated by Black Zetsu. That is the strongest offensive ninjutsu. Take that in for a second. Minato is dying if he gets hit by this, bro. Gamabunta is dying if he gets hit by this, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, the only thing that you can argue is that Minato would just have to chop off his arm unless, like, Itachi just doesn't intentionally hit him, like, everything.
The thing is, he doesn't have a cloak to do that, though, you know? Like, the Raikage used this lightning cloak to chop off his arm. What is Minato going to do? Use a kunai? Cut off his arm, his own arm with a kunai? Maybe, but no, I don't even know.
But I guess, like, maybe if it's KCM 2, it'd be different.
Yeah, we can talk about KCM 2 Minato versus Edo Itachi. That's a more fair fight.
It's stated in the last chapter of part 1 that Minato has unrivaled strength and that everyone sets off in hopes of reaching his level one day. This is a weak...
Oh, he says it's weekly release.
And that everyone sets off in hopes...
What's it say, though? That's what I'm trying to see. He cuts it off so quick.
Unrivaled strength.
Well, here, pause it and then turn off the closed captioning. That unrivaled strength, that carefree, smiling face, aiming for his level, everyone has sets off. Now sets off.
The day we set off. What chapter is that? Can someone figure out what 238 is? Yeah, it's a weekly release though.
Let me actually go check real quick.
Unrivaled strength. That this is the first statement that I've ever seen that actually says anything about Minato's power.
238.
That's the last chapter pre-time skip.
Oh, okay.
Nate said it's the last chapter pre-time skip. So unrivaled strength in comparison to the other, who like at the end of the day, these are some editor notes. I don't use editor notes. I don't believe that the weekly release statements are valid. That's why I don't use them, because they're constantly inconsistent and they say things that aren't actually in the manga. These are used as hype up statements to hype up the next chapter of the manga. They're not even provably written by Kishimoto. So at the end of the day, I don't use them. Like there's a bunch of good statements for Itachi in these too. Like there's one for Itachi that says he's the strongest Edo Tensei. You don't see me go around saying that Edo Tensei Itachi is stronger than Edo Madara though. You guys ever heard me say that? It's because I don't use editor statements. So yeah. The unrivaled.
This was literally the last chapter before Shippuden.
Yeah, and also,
and obviously because it's the volume release, it's not there.
It's not in the volume release. But yeah, like if you look at the volume releases of these, which is the ones that Kishimoto went back through and like changed everything, so they're like the canon variation of the chapters. They're like the ones that are proofread, if you would, by Kishimoto. Anyway, what I was saying was, this is also maybe in the mindset that people had back in the day when, like, Hiruzen was afraid of Minato's coffin. They, like pseudo-narratively imply that, like, Minato is, like, stronger than the other two Hokage, but that obviously, like, gets retconned later. So it's like how Kishimoto was writing it back then. It's like he almost intended Minato to be that strong, but it just didn't come to fruition that way because he ended up writing the Madara and Hashirama plotline. So the Madara and Hashirama plotline basically just established him as, like, weaker than the others. So, unfortunately. Unrivaled strength compared to Part 1 Shoji. Facts. Pain and Naruto match. Yeah. Minato obviously is unrivaled. He's unrivaled Surfbone, even though Sage Naruto's stronger than him. I'm just kidding.
Also, I thought it was interesting that, granted, I'm sure you knew and a lot of people knew about this, but they talked about how Orochimaru, even if he was able to get that coffin up, he wouldn't have been able to actually summon Minato because his soul was in the belly of the Reaper.
Yeah, that's true.
So it wouldn't have been possible.
I'm trying to think of what this statement would even scale to if it's just including Part 1. Like, who's it making stronger than, like, Part 1 Hiruzen? I guess.
Yeah.
Part 1, Itachi.
Which is, I don't know. Maybe that's like a weird thing that like either Hiruzen just didn't know that Minato's belly that Minato was in the belly of the Reaper, or if he just I don't know,
Hiruzen
maybe
knew.
forgot. Did he know? Because it's
Yeah,
just weird that he was he was worried that Minato was going to get summoned by Orochimaru.
maybe he just didn't consider it at the time, but he knew Minato got sealed away because he says it to him. He says that he knows exactly what the Reaper does. So maybe it was just some bad writing or something. But Noodles, low-key, the statement just refers to the new Jin getting in the Konoha 12. What makes you say that, Loco? But yeah. I just don't think this statement's very impressive, and it's an editor statement, so, but yeah.
Chapter of Part 1, that Minato has unrivaled strength and that everyone sets off in hopes of reaching his level one day. This is a weekly statement from the original.
Everyone sets off in hopes in reaching his level one day. It does kind of, pseudo-imply that it's like...
Well, the thing was that, because it's like, oh, who sets off in that chapter? Naruto.
Yeah.
And literally, what does he do right before he leaves? He looks at Minato's Hokage face, like reaches out towards it, and then like clutches his fist, being like, trying to set off.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we know for a fact that Hashirama is stronger than Minato. That's just a fact. It's not up for debate. It's a fact. And if they're both nerfed by the same amount, Hashirama is still stronger. So it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that he's unrivaled back then. I think this is just that editor statement getting sucked into that fake narrative that Minato was supposed to be the strongest, So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my opinion on it. Go ahead.
If it's like, if we're trying to include even Part 1 Itachi in the statement, it doesn't really make sense why he would strive to become as strong as Minato.
No, he didn't.
Why would he care about Minato whatsoever? He doesn't even mention Minato.
I just got done with the novels, and Itachi does say something kind of like that. He says he wants to become the strongest ninja of all time, so he can end war and conflict. But it's not like he never specified Minato. He just says he wants to become the strongest ninja ever. So
yeah, and also if he was truly just the strongest Hokage ever, then why isn't he called the God of Shinobi?
Yeah, he's not even referred to as a God of Shinobi. There's only a couple people that are referred to gods of Shinobi. Hiruzen, Hashirama, Monkey King Inma. I found that out recently. Monkey King. What's his name? Orochimaru is called a god at one point when in his Hydra form. I think Zetsu calls him a god. That might just be because he's actually based on the god Orochi in that, the seven-headed Hydra in Japanese mythology. So he's literally called the god Orochi, and that's the when I think it was the Yadamir, the Yadamir in Japanese mythology sealed him away, or no, it was the Susano'o. Susano'o sealed away King Orochi in Japanese mythology. So the whole fight between Itachi and Orochimaru is based on some Japanese god mythology stuff. So that's probably why he was called the god. But yeah, the only people that are actually called the god of Shinobi are Hashirama, Hiruzen, and Monkey King Inma. So
man, I just don't understand the people that unironically believe in the fact that Minato can actually eclipse Hashirama, considering especially in this whole unrivaled strength statement at its utmost, it doesn't even make sense consistently, considering when they were all revived by Orochimaru, the only one that Orochimaru talks about that he was literally sweating from was Hashirama, who he said who can break out at any time, and also whose literal cells, his actual just living cells, are basically the steroids of the Naruto-verse. Is it Hashirama?
Yeah.
It's definitely not Minato.
Minato went life and death with a 14-year-old in the Nine Tails. Hashirama murdered and beat the shit out of a Susanoo amp Nine Tails in Madara.
Who is arguably the strongest Uchiha of all time, besides Sasuke.
Yeah, and he didn't seal the Nine Tails. He beat the shit out of it. Like he beat the shit out of it. He didn't have to suicide seal it. Like so, yeah, just simply not close.
So his credibility would normally be questionable at best, but I think this sentiment is echoed through the manga and a few characters in the story.
Here comes the Jiraiya statement.
For when Jiraiya says that
Chad, I precogged him. I said, here comes the Jiraiya statement.
Well, anyway, Jiraiya. His capacity was unparalleled.
Yeah, his capacity.
One of a kind.
Yeah, his capacity as a shinobi. What does that fucking mean, man? What the fuck does that mean? I'm like, what are we talking about? The video is so low I can barely hear 6.
You're telling us that we literally can't raise the volume any higher.
Nate, do you know if there's a way I can bass boost Chrome? Like, surely, right? Bass.
There's gotta be like an extension or something.
Chrome. Let's see. Chrome Web Store. Add to Chrome. Add extension. Yeah, 6's audio is not good in this.
He said there's a Nate said there's a volume booster.
Alright.
But it makes it where you can't full screen. Which I think is fine. Like,
yeah,
you
I
can
just
just
rather
do
hear
like
it.
just do like the cinema mode.
Audio. Booster?
Yep.
Yeah. Audio booster.
Minato chose to seal the Nine Tails because it would respawn randomly if he completely sealed / killed it. No! He literally said he can only seal half. In which, why do you? Here's the question, dude. Why do you think the Nine Tails was in Minato's belly when he got revived in the war arc? Where do you think he put half of it? Maybe is it because that he had to put half in himself and half into Naruto?
You like that, Surfbone. How do I use it, Nate?
He said it would because it would respawn randomly if he completely sealed it.
You like that for a second, Surfbone. Could you repeat what you said?
Naruto? This dude thought like sealing something like would sealing the Nine Tails would make it respawn somewhere else.
No, what the hell are we talking about? It's going in the belly of the Reaper, man. It's not respawning. It's not dead. It's not even dead.
Literally, again, Minato said himself that he could not seal away all of it, so he had to seal away half. Half into Naruto and half into himself, which would then go into the belly of the Reaper. Like, dog.
Nate, help me. I'm terrible at
Naruto
technology.
fans do not read their own series.
Hell no, they don't. Oh, what? What am I doing, man? You said top right toolbar. Extension bar. What's the extension bar? That's what I'm wondering. Is this it? Is it the extension bar?
No. So
this.
you see, yeah.
But where is it?
Click on that. Yeah, click on extension. Not that one.
That one?
Yeah, that's extensions.
Okay.
Minato.
Ah! Sorry. I shouldn't have. My bad, chat.
Boosted next video.
He said, dude, that's what he sounds like when he goes to the bathroom, bro. Where the hell
Click
did
on
I click
again.
that again?
Yeah, click on it again.
This one.
It's
yeah.
the puzzle piece.
Alright, let me pin this.
And then, yep.
Alright, let's, I don't...
Yeah,
like,
right.
And that his capacity.
what the... No, bruh! Go back down!
Turn that shit really
The
down.
Shinobi was
Alright, hold on, one more up.
Well, no, hold on,
unmatched,
not
with him having
there we
extremely
go.
high talent.
Oh, shit, now it's really loud. Is that too loud? I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to do you like that. I really didn't. I'm telling y'all, I'm terrible with technology. He sealed half because Naruto was a baby. He verbatim states this. This is what's actually stated in the manga. He says, Sealing the full body of the Nine Tails is not only physically impossible, but it's also dangerous to have that much power in one place. So he sealed it because, for one, he didn't want to seal the full power inside of Naruto, but for two, because it was also physically impossible.
For ninjutsu as well. Also, even then, Itachi might have gotten stronger since the beginning of Part 2, because we don't know when he actually acquired the Susanoo. For all we know, he could have had it back in Part 1. He certainly met the parameters for it, which is having both of your Mangekyo abilities unlocked, and we see both Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi in Part 1. Even then, though, it's unknown whether or not he had the Toska Blade and Yada Mirror back then, since Zetsu and Orochimaru kind of make it sound like these are spirit weapons you can find and acquire, rather than just being a part of Itachi's Susanoo.
Yes,
With that being
he
the
verbatim
case,
states that.
there is still another statement in Part 2 that echoes Minato's spot at the top, being Kakashi saying that Naruto is the only one who can surpass the Hokage, and that he truly believed that. This is also repeated back to us in Databook 3, so it's pretty clear.
I don't think he understands what Kakashi's doing here, though. So he knows for a fact that Naruto admires the fourth Hokage more than any other Hokage. He knows that. He also admires the fourth Hokage more than any other Hokage. And then he said, so he tells Naruto, I believe you're the only shinobi that can surpass the fourth Hokage, right? So he's talking from a place of admiration for the Hokage and knowing that that'll inspire Naruto. So he's saying this to inspire Naruto. And now let's get into the details of what he means by surpass. What are they doing here, chat? They're doing the Rasen Shuriken training. What was something that Minato failed to do, Surfbone?
What did he fail to do?
He failed to create the Rasen Shuriken. So when Kakashi's telling him that he believes in him and that he's the only person that can surpass the fourth Hokage, it's not in this generalistic sense like he's saying that the fourth Hokage is like the greatest shinobi of all time or anything like that. And even greatest doesn't really imply anything in particular. But he's saying this to Naruto to inspire him to create the Rasen Shuriken and surpass the fourth Hokage in this regard, which is exactly what he states during the fight with Kakuzu when he manages to use the Rasen Shuriken. So yeah, I think
he literally says that he surpassed the fourth Hokage.
Yeah, he says that
and it's even stated that in like the chapter summary that Naruto now wields like a power that rivals the fourth Hokage.
That's a mistranslation, completely mistranslated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's that whole.
So what does it actually say?
It's something like actually in like completely different. Whoever translated that, they actually not. It's not just a little different, Surfbone. It's not just like the context changes or something like that. Like it's actually just doesn't say anything that it's talking about. It's like talking about Sasuke and stuff. It has nothing to do. Yeah, it has absolutely nothing to do. Minato is not mentioned in that whole thing. Kakuzu is not mentioned in that whole thing. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, Viz, bro, Viz. They're like what? Like I was talking to Hashi about this the other day in Surfbone, and it was basically like once you realize how bad Viz is at translating like manga and across all manga too, not just Naruto, not just Dragon Ball, like across all manga, like how much they like put words in that aren't actually there, how much they use terminology that doesn't make sense contextually or was actually used in the original text. It's baffling because like it completely changes the story. Like it alters what is happening in the story, and they don't care because they're perceiving it as something more fitting, right? They think this word would be more appropriate for like Western audiences or something like that, or English speakers. And it's like, no, you need to put exactly what it says in the original Japanese, because like once you like when I used to read manga, I just read it and not have a care in the world, and I enjoyed it and I liked the manga. But once you look deeper and you like put on the lens that you know that Viz is mistranslating every fucking panel that they've ever translated, you like always have this thought in the back of your mind when you're reading, like, oh, this panel, this whole page could just be mistranslated. So I've gotten in the habit where if I ever find an important power scaling page, I'm automatically sending it to my translator just to see what it actually says. Because I feel like I don't even know the power scaling of Naruto sometimes, because I'll read a scan that was mistranslated, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not even relevant. So, yeah, Viz is just dog shit and terrible. But yeah, let's continue.
Cut that Minato is at the top when it comes to the shinobi around this era.
It's tough out here for you scalers and debaters. Listen, man, it's not just tough for debaters and scalers. This is tough for people just reading the story. Like, they can't even read the story because these translators have, like, they think that they have the power just to change the wording into what the story becomes. I don't think they realize that this isn't your story and you don't get to tell it the way you want to tell it. You have to translate it. And I get it. Not every word is one-to-one in Japanese to English. But the English language is versatile enough, you can come pretty damn close. So you need to do your best attempt to do it accurately. Like, I have a whole, I'm not in the server, but know some people that are in a server that are not retranslating, they've did every single chapter of One Punch Man retranslated because Viz fucks it up so bad. They've retranslated everything as accurately as possible, and they're even doing the data books. So I know those guys, and I'm glad that they're doing that for One Punch Man because I've recently read One Punch Man and I really like it. So it's just like, if you don't like read Japanese, or if you're not a debater or skiller, you're not even gonna know that these things are mistranslated and not actually what's said in the story. So it's like you don't even have that like image, but like it's just stupid, man. It's really stupid.
It does help also that like the translator that we have, his name is 02. Has like he's been around like the power scaling community and has been around us for so long as well. When he eventually like got into Japanese and everything, that's why we also trust him a lot, because he understands how specific verbiage could change the context of a single sentence drastically.
Yeah.
So that's why he gives us. That's why he's really good at telling us whether or not something is a direct translation or not. Or if it's just like not just flavor text, what's the word I'm looking for? If it's localized, it's like, oh, it's like the reason they translate it this way is because they wanted it localized, or they didn't translate it this way because of like some. There was like a whole thing where, like, say with like the beginning of Bleach, I was asking him why Rukia talks about Shinigami powers as dark force.
Yep.
And it was because of this whole like religious context, like the religious connotations that come with the whole idea of calling somebody like a Shinigami or a god of death in the West. So they decided to just call it Dark Force as like an equivalent.
Yeah, they're really bad with One Punch Man, man. They change all the names too. It's crazy. They change names of all kinds of people.
Honestly, like there's like a whole thing with like how. Like, so many people are just realizing how bad, like, Viz is when it coming to JJK. Like, especially. Like, people... Like, especially when it came to that series, people are realizing that Viz just fucking sucks.
Yeah, they do. They're
it's
terrible.
Just really bad.
Yeah.
Like, because first we get the fan translations, because they're faster.
Hey, real quick, Surfbone, real quick. Nate, grab me the scan where it says that Naruto surpassed the fourth Hokage from the Kakuzu fight when he uses the Rasen Shuriken. It's right after he uses it and hits Kakuzu, I think. Go ahead, Surfbone.
But yeah, but it's like first we get the fans translations. It's like, oh, now we get Viz, and now we get to compare to see like, that's weird. These are all, like very much different translations. And then when people end up like cross-examining both of them, they realize that the vast majority of the time, the fan translations are often better to cite most of the time, because most often they don't like have to worry about this whole idea of localizing something. They just do, most of the time they do direct translations of what occurs on the
those One Punch Man guys I was mentioning, that group that has that server that redoes all the One Punch Man chapters, they have a link to the website where you can read all the chapters with the correct translations. Like, they redo the panels and everything. Like, they'll redraw, and then like they'll draw redraw certain segments different, and they'll type it out and everything. They'll retype all the panels that are mistranslated and stuff, and it's really cool that they do that. They do the whole chapter, and they've done it for the whole manga, and they're like halfway through the data book. So they're doing a really good job. But anyway, enough of this tangent. We're going to get back to the video.
Yeah, one thing I want to say before we continue, though, is like Kakashi, even if we're like not assuming the whole idea that like there's like the whole admiration narrative when it comes to the context behind this statement.
Yep.
It's also like we're talking about in context to like the Leaf Village, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, and like when it comes to like the Konoha 12 and like the 12 Genin.
Yeah, you're thinking he's talking about like the next generation too.
Yeah, like
he could be referring to them.
Like, yeah, it's like I think it in terms of the next generation, you're the only one that can surpass the fourth Hokage.
Yeah. Now, people might say you're adding context there, but it's also just, like, contextually makes sense. Like, you don't have to necessarily say that's added context, because he could be meaning that. He might be meaning that. So I do agree with that interpretation. But I also think, you know, like, you can't say you're the only shinobi that can surpass the fourth Hokage, and he's talking about past generations, because he wasn't around for Hashirama. You know, he didn't see Hashirama. He wasn't around for Tobirama, so he couldn't be talking about past generations.
Well, it doesn't make sense. Why would, like, if you were to be like, yeah, Itachi is also included in this, and it's like, why would, then we have to come up with the explanation, why is he talking about Itachi? Why would he amend, like, how much does he know about Itachi?
Even if he knows quite a bit, it's at the same time, he's just not saying this in context to, like, you gotta think, right? He's talking about the Rasen Shuriken here. He's literally talking about that. So I just don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things. Like, whether or not it's including Itachi or not, that's completely up for debate. And I don't really think you can say Itachi's included in that. But even if you do, even if you give that to them, right, they're still talking about the Rasen Shuriken. So it doesn't matter. Like, I don't think they realize this same Naruto lost to Itachi. Like, not this same Naruto, the one that fought Pain, the one after Pain lost to Itachi. He got Genjutsu'd immediately. Immediately folded against Itachi. So, after he surpassed Minato, he lost to Itachi. So, I don't think this matters.
So, it's pretty clear cut that Minato is at the top when it comes to the shinobi around this era. Databook 3 does take place after Itachi's passing.
Oh, and let's see how he got to the conclusion again, just in case.
Both of your Mangekyo abilities unlocked, and we see both Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi in part 1. Even then, though, it's unknown whether or not he had the Toska Blade and Yada Mirror back then, since Zetsu and Orochimaru kind of make it sound like these are spirit weapons you can find and acquire, rather than just being...
I knew Six gave him this argument, bro. I could tell that he gave it to him. I knew he gave that argument about how he didn't have the Yada Mirror and Toska Blade back then.
A part of Itachi Susano'o. That being the case, there is still another statement in part 2 that echoes Minato's spot at the top, being Kakashi saying that Naruto is the only one who can surpass the Hokage, and that he truly believed that. This is also repeated back to us in Databook 3, so it's pretty clear cut that Minato is at the top when it comes to the shinobi around this era.
Alright, let's see what this says. Strong enough. He's the only one who can surpass the fourth Hokage, and so is with high hopes that Kakashi continues to watch over Naruto, his protege, with amazing progress, has the strength to carry on the will of his beloved fourth Hokage. Oh, the whole admire thing. Beloved. The beloved fourth Hokage. Crazy, I know. I'm a fucking wizard, bro. But, yeah, let me, Nate.
So, like, amazing progress has the strength to carry on the will of the beloved fourth Hokage?
Yeah, did you ever... No, he didn't. Alright, I'm gonna go find it.
What? What are you looking for?
I gotta pull it up in manga, see. Gotta go. Naruto!
Yeah, I think Six was about to get into as well that statement is right after was made, like,
Real quick, what chapter is the Rasen Shuriken, boys, when he uses it on Kakazu? It's like 350, I wanna say it's 364. No, way too far. Maybe 300. It should be somewhere around 300.
Man, my computer's just being weird. Like, I'm able to be in Discord and talk in Discord just fine, but it just will not load up YouTube for whatever reason.
340. I knew I was close.
I just want to read the chat, bro. I gotta read the chat.
So this is the Rasen Shuriken training, so we'll go to 340. I have it on my phone, Surfbone. You should probably do the same. Works easier.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have a dual monitor, and it's just more convenient if I just have the chat on the dual monitor.
I understand. Alright, so this is... Great. Another Kakazu somehow gets brought up into this debate.
Someone said you should have had Six on stream, too.
I mean...
This was an impromptu stream.
Yeah, I didn't plan for it. I don't know if it's such a good idea to bring Six on just so I can shit on his video in front of him. Like, I feel like that's kind of like me grabbing his face and, like, making him watch why it's wrong.
We're having fun here, while also, like, bringing our, like, disagreements to Six's video. We're not here to be like, yo, Six, we want you here because we want to shit on your video to your face.
Yeah. Magnificent.
Also, Six pops
jutsu.
in like the chat every once in a while whenever we Noodles stream. So
Yeah, I mean, he can come up in if he wants to. I don't care, but
plus, I don't think Six cares.
He's become truly strong. Jutsu that were beyond even the fourth Hokage are well within his command. See that? Told you, boys. Told you when he says you surpass the fourth Hokage, it's just the Rasen Shuriken. Because Minato failed to create a Rasen Shuriken. Failed to. Naruto did it in like a week. So, yeah. Basically, this just proves that it's talking about jutsu. It's not talking about, like, holistic overall power or ability as a ninja. Because this same Naruto loses, and this, like, a stronger version of this Naruto loses to Itachi later. He loses to him in the forest when he gets Genjutsu. So, yep, I don't think that statement proves that he's the strongest. And also, Itachi, Databook 3. This is gonna shit on your parade.
That's really small.
I know, I'll fix it. Ooh.
Oh, it's blurry.
Oh, that's a good scan
But
right there.
Let's
see. Let me see if I can just... Hold on. That's a fantastic scan right there, Surfbone. Oh, there it is. Booyah. Let's read this. What? Oh, there it is.
Oh, there we go.
The reason why the Susano'o boast absolutely perfection in both defense and offense, the spiritual treasures clutched in both hands. This is not Biz. I just realized that. I know I just shit on Biz a minute ago, but it's still better to use them than randoms, I say. Sometimes. Maybe that translation's more accurate. Who knows? Let me use... Oh, I messed up. Open... Image in your tab.
Just look at that one.
There we go. Oh, God. Please, man. Stop giving me these. And let me just...
Sage Mode Naruto above Minato. Facts. Might actually be pure facts.
Gosh. What is wrong with these scans, man? Does no one have this
The third
scan on
data
hand?
book also calls him a shinobi who surpassed Minato.
Yep, exactly. So, that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, just surpassing... You're the only one who can surpass Minato in regards to what? The Rasen Shuriken. That's what it's talking about. There's plenty of shinobi who are already stronger than him at that point in the series, even. Like, I think that Kakashi would beat the shit out of Minato. But, yeah. Let me stop bringing up Kakashi before it gets too late.
Again, it just doesn't make any contextual sense of why he would ever be talking about Itachi, especially when he's talking about
Alright.
people who surpass Minato.
This ain't the right side, man. I need the other side. This is it.
We just pull that image up and then just...
It's blurry. Let me just see if I can see through the blur.
I can still read it.
Susano'o boasts an absolutely perfect attack and defense because of the spirit weapon it wields in both hands. The tin-handed sword that can cut down any enemy in its right, and the Yatamir shield that can repel any attack in the face of a god's powers. All attacks, whether from a material or astral body, ninjutsu or physical, lose their meaning. Okay, so let's talk about the Minato statements he used. So he brings up unrivaled strength from part 1. Now let's talk about the other statement, which is... You're the only shinobi who can surpass Minato. We already addressed that, why that's not right. And now we have a much more clear, not vague, very specific statement about the Susano'o boasting an absolutely perfect attacking defense. Absolutely perfect. It can cut down any enemy. That's including Minato in the data book. a variant of the Kusanagi blade that is endowed with the power to plunge those it pierces into a Genjutsu world of drunken dreams and seal them away for all time. The blade itself is imbued with sealing jutsu. The Yatamir, a spirit weapon without a physical form with the power to change every one of its properties, allowing it to alter its attributes in accordance with the attributes of the attack, rendering the attack ineffective. So yeah, basically it's just like the best thing ever made, bro. It's just like actually the best attack and defense in existence at the time, which is fine. Yeah, it is. It is, in fact. It can deal with things way stronger than that Naruto, who already surpassed Minato, was capable of dealing with. These statements just suck. No offense.
Databook 3 does take place after Itachi's passing, but the statement I'm talking about comes from before that and captures a moment before that as well, being when Naruto is training for his Rasen Shuriken. The Raikage also comments something similar to what these other statements say.
He's talking about overall power.
He had exchanged
helps
blows
Itachi's
with
case.
Minato
True.
many times, that he was a great man and that a finer shinobi had never lived. I know
finer shinobi, capacity as a shinobi. What does that fucking mean? What do you mean, finer shinobi? What does that mean? That's talking about the general holistic sense of what it means to be a shinobi. That isn't talking about any specific hacks or power. It doesn't talk about any of that. So, like when Jiraiya is saying, like, no one talked better than him, no one looked better than him, no one carried themselves as good as Minato did, right? Shit like that. That's what Jiraiya was saying when he said no one had the capacity as a shinobi as him. That can be true. Like, Minato can be the sexiest, Minato can be the most charismatic, he can be good at ninjutsu, he can be talented, he can be young, he's the youngest Hokage, he can be hyped up in whatever fucking way he wants. That doesn't mean he's the best fighter. It doesn't. Madara would destroy him. And Madara is not, the nicest. He's not the most charismatic. He's going to come to murder you. So, Yeah.
The Raikage also doesn't know about has never met Itachi either,
yeah, he's literally never met Itachi in his life.
Like, the Raikage is only able to make that assessment about Minato because they met.
Exactly.
Like,
this might include Killer B at best. But he's even downplaying Killer B at this time. Like, he doesn't even think Killer B is stronger than him when he is.
Better shinobi than another person.
Madara is very
especially
charismatic.
With Hashirama
sure.
claiming Itachi was a better
for us watchers, not for the people in there.
Guy in his entire life. But I think it's probable the Raikage is talking about Minato's capabilities here, as not only does he mention no one is faster than him since Minato passed away, but he also, after that, says that even with all of Minato's power, he's still not around to help out with today's problems because he underestimated the power of the tailed beast. That last part isn't true, but the Raikage doesn't...
Crazy how the tailed beasts are just not relevant to Itachi. Like, he would just beat the shit out of them.
Controlled the Nine Tails all that time ago. He thinks Minato went out in a fight against the Nine Tails, but regardless, the point still stands. I'd also like to comment that even among the people Minato is stronger than, Itachi is stronger as well. Not stronger than Minato, or at least that's not what I'm saying, but when you compare Itachi to the highest...
Almost none of his statements included strength. The only one that did was in that editor statement from part 1 that he mentioned.
Tiers of character at the time the statement is made, that being the signing, is
well, yeah,
Itachi is...
Someone brought up a good point in chat. If we're... granted, he obviously is not using that statement to upscale. He's not using like the Raikage statement to upscale like Minato above Itachi. Yeah. But Hashirama did literally say that Itachi was even a greater shinobi than he was.
Yeah, Hashirama verbatim said Itachi was a bit greater shinobi than he was. It doesn't mean anything. Nate, what is the chapter that... What was I going to look up? I was going to look up the Itachi versus Sasuke chapter where Zetsu says... that should be around... I want to say that's around 411. Where Black Zetsu says... talks about the Amaterasu. This is right after, so let's go to 400 even.
He said 390.
390.
Like around 390.
Alright, let's take a peek at this. Hope y'all are having a good day, chat. Got a nice little educational Naruto stream for y'all.
Nate also said that the editor statement wasn't referring to Itachi, it was referring to Team 7 starting their training.
That's what Loco said earlier. Apparently, I can't use Mangasi anymore.
You were looking for 390.
Yeah.
Let me see if my
For some reason, Mangasi is like crapping out on me. So, oh, there it goes.
Don't for some reason I'm only able to use Discord, but I can't use anything else.
Uh-oh, stream. Here we go. This is what
Nate also said with the Sannin, who were referred to as the strongest in build up that during part 1.
Yeah.
And Nate said I think he sent it to you.
Okay. This is what Black Zetsu has to say about the Amaterasu. He says, if the left eye eyes the Mangekyo possess the most powerful genjutsu, the right eye's Mangekyo possess the most powerful physical attack. The Amaterasu produces black flames that are said to never extinguish until they burn to ash whatever its caster's eye had sighted. So, it's just saying that it's literally the most powerful physical attack. Zetsu was there for literally all of creation. Like, he was just there everywhere. Yeah, so he's saying this in context, knowing about Minato. So this proves that Itachi is stronger than Minato with his Amaterasu. So those statements don't refer to strength, if you thought they did before. Another thing, it's also stated by Kabuto. Nate, do you know where the Kabuto statement is? It's called the most powerful attack because no one has heat resistance on that level. Okay, then it's still the most powerful, though. That's the point I'm making. They wouldn't be referring to power, in this case, for Minato. I don't think the statement means anything on Hashirama level. I mean, it would burn Hashirama's wood style. That's true. I'm not saying that he'd beat Hashirama. I don't think he would. But I do think that this has the potency to damage. You know what I mean? Hashirama would heal probably, but this does have the potency. So from the Sage Kabuto fight, yes. 584. Appreciate you, bro. Loco 584. Let's check that out. Chat. And just in case you don't think it's true, we have two of the smartest characters in the series saying it. Black Zetsu.
Oh no, Loco said he was wrong and was not 584.
Dang.
581.
Loco misleading me. Alright, Kabuto talking mad shit. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it?
He said he mistyped 582. Loco just sending Noodles on a fucking scavenger hunt. He's like,
Oh,
no,
no.
they're not there over here.
The greatest offensive ocular jutsu can also be the greatest defense. It's so hot the cave's gone back to being a cave. The greatest offensive ocular jutsu. So yeah. There you go. I do believe at that point you can say Itachi is stronger than Minato, just based on the Susano'o statements, the Yadomir and Toska Blade statements, The Amaterasu statements, they're way more consistent. They're coming from more reliable sources. They're way more specific. Like the Databook statement was super specific. It's the greatest offensive and defense. So there's just no way you can say that you genuinely think Minato is physically stronger, has stronger ninjutsu or even taijutsu than Itachi. Like, there's just no way you can say that. There's no proof of it. He's not Rasenganing the Yadamir. That shit's getting blown the fuck away. He's getting cut in half, in essence.
Is much stronger than them. Orochimaru mentions that Itachi is way stronger than him, and that should reliably make Itachi stronger than Jiraiya as well, since Orochimaru and Jiraiya are on par with each other. Another sentiment echoed throughout the guidebooks and the manga itself. Itachi's run-in with Jiraiya has always been a huge point of contention, since Itachi seems to
hold on, Marshmallow. I don't think that statement can prove Amaterasu has the highest AP, more AP than the Buddha statue because of heat resistance. You gotta understand, bro, it's a hack, right? So its potency is coming from its heat. I'm not saying it's going to destroy more area than the Buddha statue, or it has more blunt force than the Buddha statue, but it has the capability to burn and destroy more things because of its heat. Does that make sense? It is more powerful in terms of potency because of its heat properties. I'm not saying it's like going to destroy more, or it's going to cause more blunt damage, or something like that.
Also, the whole point of us bringing up the strongest jutsu statements is because the Minato crowd, including Six, are using statements for like Minato having like these unparalleled strength stuff and unrivaled strength. So then we have to like inconsequentially use bring up how Itachi has similar statements, if not far better than Minato has ever had. So it's like if we want to go down that exact same route and take these a bit more hyper literally, Itachi has all way more in his arsenal.
Yep.
In terms of statements.
Exactly.
Already used Tsukuyomi that day, and it's a jutsu that stated to take a lot out of him. Not only that, but by the time he would have...
I actually think Itachi was lying during this. Itachi was lying because he wanted to get out of the village. He was only there to remind Danzo that he was still alive.
Right. He had already used it twice, so it's probable he's not exactly in the right condition to take on a Sannin level opponent. He even had to escape using Amaterasu.
I can't believe he's unironically making the Jiraiya argument above Itachi, bro. At 6, man. I made a whole Jiraiya video, and I did a breakdown on this very fight, talking about whether or not Jiraiya was truly stronger than Itachi, or if, they would mutually kill each other. Itachi states several times throughout the fight that he wants to get out of there. He tells Kasame to hold back. He tells Kasame he doesn't want to start a war. Kakashi said that he could have killed him with the Tsukuyomi. He doesn't know why he didn't. And there's just so many. He keeps telling him several times throughout the fight that he wanted to leave. It's blatantly obvious that Itachi didn't want to attack Jiraiya, didn't want to kill Jiraiya, and the ways he had to get out of this was by convincing Kasame that he couldn't use it several times. Because, we know he can use the Tsukuyomi and the Amaterasu more than twice. We know that for a fact, because when he's even sicker and near dead in part 2, he spams the Amaterasu. He doesn't just use it once. He lights the entire forest on fire. He covers the whole Uchiha hideout in Amaterasu. A whole spam of it, and then he's using Tsukuyomi, and then he's using the Susano'o, and then he's using the Susano'o, which is literally stated to be his most chakra-consuming jutsu. So it's he obviously had the chakra when he was younger and less sick, than now. So it's blatantly obvious through the context of the manga that Itachi was not trying to kill Jiraiya. He was trying to convince Kasame to leave. He didn't want to start a war with any of the elite Jonin. He literally tells them to their face that he doesn't want to kill them, and Asuma's man, that's really weird for a child killer to say. He says that to Itachi. Asuma says that. He's wait, you don't want to kill us? Yeah. That's weird. But it's because we know what happens later. You can contextually make this jump. Go ahead.
Yeah, Itachi is still a secret spy for the Leaf Village. He's not going to kill any of these guys.
No.
Also, Nate made a really good point, saying that Six was just talking about how Orochimaru and Jiraiya are relative, but now he's saying that Jiraiya is stronger, and for some reason. But also, if Orochimaru and Jiraiya are relative, who was the one shinobi that Itachi would constantly secretly bitch every time he comes in contact with.
No, Orochimaru.
Orochimaru.
Literally, what happens when Itachi fights Orochimaru the first time? He mogged him immediately. Immediately put in a Genjutsu, one-tapped. He one-tapped a Sannin level fighter. What do you mean he's not Sannin level, bro? Oh yeah, he wasn't ready for the Sannin at this time. Dude, he was even younger when he beat the shit out of Orochimaru. What do you mean he's not Sannin level, dude?
And that was
What do you
was
mean?
when Orochimaru was trying to join the fucking Akatsuki, and he got shooketh. Like,
Yeah.
that man was shook.
It's-
He's like, man, I want that man's body now.
Literally, Sasuke talks shit to him in part 2, and he says, "Oh, look at you, the pitiful Orochimaru, going after the child Uchiha, because we all know you couldn't handle Itachi." Like, he was just like, you had to go after the child because Itachi bitched you so bad, bro. Like,
Oh, and then when Orochimaru was in his strongest form, in the Hydra form, and Itachi is literally dying.
Blind.
He's on his deathbed. He's
fighting the
half
strongest
blind.
Orochimaru that ever lived,
And what happens?
immediately beats the fuck out of him again. Immediately beats the fuck out of him again.
Fucking Toska Blade. It catches one of the smartest people in the entire series off guard. Be like, where did you get this blade, Itachi? When?
Dude, he farts on Orochimaru, and Orochimaru stated equal to Jiraiya several times. Like in the Databook, in the three-way deadlock, they were all stated to be equal. Their summons are even stated to be equal. Itachi farts on them, bro. Like, it doesn't seem like he's talking about Edo Itachi yet, too. I'm curious if he gets to that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Itachi was just like on freaking Mega AIDS.
yeah, exactly.
So fighting Itachi. Keep going, yeah.
Rasu, something that fatigued him so much, it actually made him turn off his Sharingan, something Itachi almost never does throughout the entire series.
There's no need to be impatient. Oh my gosh. Why did we have to retreat with your power? Like, Kasama's like, why are we leaving? And he's like, oh yeah, he turns off his Sharingan. Why does he turn off his Sharingan, Six? He's putting it on, bro. He's putting it on. He has to tell Kasame this shit. He has to convince Kasame that he doesn't have any more power left.
Yeah, like if it comes to like Kisame that Itachi was secretly being a bitch to make sure that they don't they could have just killed like threats to their like whole scheme. How do you think how do you think he's gonna react? He's gonna tell on him to pain. You're like, yo, bro, Itachi's a fucking insider.
Funnily enough,
inside
Kasame was one of the most loyal members to Obito in the Akatsuki. He was one of the most loyal. He stuck around to the very end and bit his tongue off. Hold on. I gotta show y'all some panels of this shit, just so you know I'm not tripping. If you haven't watched my Jiraiya video, go in depth on this.
Also, they did bring up he never ever deactivates his fucking Sharingan. Never.
Yeah, that's just a terrible
Never.
statement. That's a terrible statement.
I don't know.
He does it all the time. Alright, this is when he fought him. This is after this portion. Let's try 140. Let's go to like 143. Bet this is it. Oh, yeah. Long time long time no see. How many years has it been since the last time? Alright, let's see what he says. Alright. As soon as he sees Kakashi, he says, Kasame, change of plans. We're taking Kakashi with us. Make the other two disappear. Then Lee comes out and fucking bodies Kasame again. Literally, another member that gets bodied by Guy every time they interact. Do not underestimate him. It's him, Itachi. Don't look him in the eye, Guy. That's his jutsu. Let's keep reading. Alright, let's see. Kasame, I'm calling it off. Like, immediately is like, let's retreat. We didn't come here to start a war. Tempting as this is, it's not a good way to do this. So he doesn't want to fight any of them immediately. And Kasame's pissed about it. He says, Go ahead.
Yeah. Scroll up a bit.
What?
To where, like, even guys just like, bro, we gotta wait for, we need to buy time for backup.
Yeah, exactly.
We're up against Itachi, bro.
Yep, exactly.
And this is after him bitching Kisame. Like, he knew like Kisame he can fucking duke it out with, but we're going up against Itachi.
Yeah,
we need backup. We need
there's more. It gets even more blatant. Like, that's just the first thing. It's just a little bit out of character for Itachi to do. So let's keep going. Here's Kasame talking. Even if you might take him on, this is the driest statement, so we'll read this. Even if you might be able to take him on, I'm not so sure about me. He's in a different league. Yeah, if we faced off, we might kill each other. At the very least, we'd hurt each other badly. And even if I had more backup, it probably wouldn't change the outcome. So he's just like convincing Kasame here that he'll like stalemate with Jiraiya and that they need to leave. It was great finally finding him at the ramen shop, but his babysitter is one of grade 3 legendary shinobi. With him as our enemy, even the title, this is talking about their titles. Their titles of Konoha's greatest Uchiha clan and the 7 Ninja Swordmen are pale in comparison. That's just fame. Even the strongest heroes have their weaknesses. What Itachi doesn't say this. Itachi thinks this. Itachi thinks to himself, yeah. Even the strongest heroes have their weaknesses. That's what he's thinking inside his head. Not saying that. From their behavior, it doesn't seem like they found Naruto. Let's keep going. Man, did I skip the whole fucking fight? I think this is missing some panels or something. What's happening? Am I tripping? There's more to this fight. Yeah, this ain't right. Something's wrong.
I think it was the moment my guy showed up that
I'm looking for the filicide comment. I'm trying to find the statement where he's like putting Kakashi in the Genjutsu, man. What's happening?
I think it's prior.
I think it's before this?
Yeah, it's way before this.
Really? Okay. Alright, here we go. Itachi seemed detested. Asuma Kunai, please do not interfere. I don't want to kill you. He tells them immediately he doesn't want to kill them. For someone who's committed parricide, that's an odd thing to say. Besides, he's like, for someone that murdered a bunch of kids, that's weird that you don't want to kill us. Like, there's just hold on. So what are you after? He bothers me. Shall I kill him? Shall I kill him? Well, it doesn't seem like we'll be able to just walk out of the village without a fight, so just try not to overdo it. Your moves tend to attract attention. So he tells him not to overdo it, tell him to hold back, tells Kasame to hold back, tells him he's running out of power. Cut you to ribbons. Bodies Kunai, but doesn't kill her. Impressive Kunai, however, it all ends now. Alright. You guys got to get the idea, though. Like, Itachi is just not interested in killing any of the ninja. He's not interested in fighting. He wants to leave. He only uses 2 of his Mangekyo abilities and says he's out of chakra, which we know is blatantly not true, because he has chakra later. He's a spy for the Leaf Village. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Speaking of Itachi's stamina, that's another issue I want to touch on, since while you can argue Itachi's stamina is bad, he has pretty insane endurance, and his stamina is only bad under specific contexts. For example, his fight with Sasuke, despite all the jutsu he threw and used, he outlasted Sasuke in stamina.
Exactly, while he was more sick.
And we know Sasuke's stamina and recovery speed was boosted by him having Orochimaru in that fight, or at least most of that fight. We do know as well, Minato isn't a person looking for a long drawn out fight. He normally tries to wrap things
I'm back,
up
Mayhem.
quickly. He tries to end the fight with Obito very quick.
The man, the
when
myth,
he
I
sees
mean.
Obito on top of the 10 tails, he quickly goes to cut his chest open. He sets up all the kunai for the 4 Crimson Ray barrier long before the other Hokage show up. He tries to wrap up the fight with B quickly, and when Minato shows up to help out another platoon in the Third War, one of the Leaf Shinobi soldiers specifically says, "We finally get to see the Yellow Flash in action, but don't blink or you'll miss it." So Minato is pretty famous for cleaning up battles quickly, and a part of that strategy is
Look at all these famous ninja that Minato killed, Surfbone. See all these guys? Yeah, these are some strong guys.
It's almost like a, what was it, like a 12-year-old Obito was able to accomplish the exact same feat.
Oh, dude, you want to see what heavy Sasuke did compared to this? Like, all right, look how many like ninjas he's killed. Like, this is a lot, right? This is a lot of ninja, right?
Beginning of Shippuden Sasuke. Literally beginning of Shippuden.
He doesn't even kill them. He holds back. Look at what Sasuke did, bro.
Without killing them, by the way.
Yeah, look at that. This is what Sasuke did. he just like knocked them all out. Like he knocked out this mini Shinobi.
he basically knocked out an entire village.
Yeah, dude, look how many dots there are. Like he did so much better than Minato did, bro. Like look at this. It's not even comparable, bro. Oh, what the hell?
kunai around the battlefield, another consistently in-character tactic for Minato. He does it against the Raikage, he brings Obito to a field of kunai he had previously thrown before, and even when we see a depiction of him using a Rasengan in chapter 519,
this scan does not show that he brought Obito to a field of kunai that he used before. That's not what the scan shows.
In a field of kunai. It's very, very in character for Minato to do this.
Yes, he does spread his kunai out on the battlefield. Look, he does it right here. Cool.
Possible counter Itachi could use is simply spreading a Amaterasu around the battlefield they're fighting on.
Yeah.
This happens in his fight against Sasuke, but it might not be the best counter for a couple of reasons. For one, Itachi doesn't have Kagetsuchi, so him controlling the flames and spreading them isn't likely. It is way more likely that they spread on their own, and of all things it could spread to, it spread on trees and just sat there. Which you could argue makes no real sense.
Bro.
Why are the flames of Amaterasu sitting on top of trees? I think it's because the Amaterasu only burns what it's targeted at. That's how Zetsu describes the ability, and it would easily explain why.
No, that's not true. Oh my gosh, man. No, the Amaterasu flames just spread out and burn everything in sight until it's turned to ash, right? But it also just continually burns at that heat regardless. It doesn't suddenly lose temperature. What's happening is it's just taking a framed picture, like a single frame of the Amaterasu for the second that it's on the trees. It's not showing them in motion sitting on the trees. People always misinterpret this in the manga. Like, it shows that it's like lit the whole forest on fire. We don't know how long it takes to burn those trees down. It's literally one frame showing it. So there's no way to say that you can like measure how long it took to sit on top of the trees. It just went on to the trees.
Amaterasu can burn.
Nate and Toshiro were saying that the Databook implies that all Amaterasu users do have like that fire control aspect.
We saw him like specifically target behind Sasuke and like manipulate specific areas and stuff. So he could just look at all the kunai and burn it. There's nothing stopping that.
So yeah, 6 is kind of just either lying or just.
Well, I don't think he's lying because Sasuke's ability is specifically stated to be the Kagetsuchi, but we just know that Itachi can do something very similar.
Burn literal fire, but not burn trees of all things. Because if you remember the Amaterasu shots...
What proves that it didn't burn the trees, man?
And there were 4 in total. They were targeted at Sasuke, but Itachi missed the first 3 and hit Sasuke with the last one. So if Minato and Itachi are fighting in a flammable area...
He's literally controlling the flames to go behind Sasuke.
What is he doing there?
He's controlling the flames behind Sasuke.
I guess you could say that the fire was spread around if it didn't hit Minato, but if Itachi purposely targeted the trees, the Amaterasu would burn out since it only extinguishes after it's burned its target. The other big problem that comes with doing this is Itachi fatiguing himself to a heavy degree. Since using the Mangekyo is extremely taxing for him in part 1, he can only use 2 Tsukuyomi and 1 Amaterasu before having to rest for a few days. And in part 2, he uses 5 Amaterasu shots and his right eye is blinded. And obviously being fatigued is not a good thing, and his right eye is blinded. In part 2, he uses 5 Amaterasu shots and his right eye is blinded. And obviously being fatigued,
and he still uses the Susano'o, and he uses the Tsukiyame, and he's even more sick and more like closer to death
when it comes to being in a fight with someone as fast as
and he's holding back.
This is a fight where if Minato happens to tag you once, you're going to have an FTG seal placed on you, and that he can teleport to you wherever he wants and hit you with a mark that essentially means the end of the fight for anyone, and that includes Itachi here in this fight.
Okay.
If Itachi looks at you once, it's over. So.
Yeah, and like you said earlier,
let alone touching you.
Yeah, he could easily just look at him and put him in a Genjutsu. Sick Itachi, like I said, he might not have the speed because he's only scaling to heavy Sasuke and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, Itachi's massively out-haxing, he's massively out-damaging, he's blocking every attack that Minato has. He doesn't have any ceiling. Edo Itachi would straight up body the shit out of him. Even if we said Edo Itachi was like didn't have the regen and like immortality properties of the Edo Tensei, he would body. Like if he was like a pseudo alive like Prime Itachi, right? Like that Itachi would beat the shit out of Minato. So yeah, I just don't think there's any reality where Minato is getting around those hacks. And the fact is like, you can talk about the Flying Thunder God seal all you want, but like he's not even going to be faster than Edo Itachi. Edo Itachi was reacting to KCM Naruto. He was reacting to Killer Bee. He was reacting and tagging Nagato. He was a combination attacking with Killer Bee and KCM1 Naruto. Like, there's just so many different things. And he was fighting alongside EMS Sasuke, was tagging Kabuto, who was able to tag Sasuke. Tsukiyomi made Kabuto several times. Like, yeah, he has so much KCM scaling. And, like, EMS Sasuke is even, like, moving alongside KCM2 right after that fight. So there's, like, even arguments that maybe Itachi's even on KCM2's level because EMS Sasuke scaling. So it's like, you can definitely argue Itachi is at bare minimum equal in speed to Minato, and he also just is way out-paxing him with one-shotting Genjutsu, one-shotting Toska Blade, one-shotting Amaterasu. Even his, like, exploding clones and, like, Shuriken Jutsu could potentially kill Minato, because Minato has no durability feats and gets hurt by splinters from paper bombs. His Yadatama beads would one-shot Minato. If you start them at their maximum range, like in Versus Battle Assumptions, then Itachi's 3,000 kilometers away, tagging him from distance. Like, yeah, I just don't know if there's any way Minato comes out of this. You can say you can try to tag him all you want, but I don't think he's better at taijutsu than Itachi is. I don't think he's going to outsmart Itachi. I don't think he's going to do anything to Itachi. He just has no way to get past those abilities like the Susanoo and things like that. He's going to have to throw his kunai immediately, not get Genjutsu, not get Amaterasu, not get faked out with some like crow clones that he uses. You know, Itachi actually uses clones effectively and tricks Killer Bee and Naruto with them several times, and Nagato, so... Yeah, I just think he's just got too much... He has too much in his toolset, too much in his arsenal to use against Minato, and that's really the problem Minato struggles with. $2 from Josh Farrow. The Yanomir Totsuki Blade can anyone get them? Yes.
Minato
not anyone. You gotta be, like, not even Orochimaru could find them, so you gotta be really intelligent, I guess.
To Obito, he does it to
a mismatch.
He does it to the Stone Ninja he fights in Kakashi Gaiden. It's something very in character for him that he commonly uses sneak attacks, or in order to attack you from behind, something that should catch Itachi off guard, since he doesn't.
Itachi also just does the same thing. It's part of being a ninja to sneak attack. Like, do people forget this is a manga about ninjas? Like, you're sitting here having to tell me that Minato sneaks attack in character? No shit, bro. He's a ninja. Like, of course he sneaks attacks in character. That's part of being a ninja. That's ninja training 101. That's the first step of being a ninja, is sneak attacking people. So, yes, he does, in fact, sneak attack. So does Itachi. That doesn't change anything.
Doesn't have the Byakugan or anything. Itachi has been shown to attack people behind him before. He did it to Naruto's clones when he ran into him in the forest, but that's hardly the same as someone teleporting.
He does it all the time, man. Like, he attacks people from behind all the time. He does it to Kabuto like 4 times.
Directly behind you, and when Minato does this, he can attack you as he teleports. We saw this happen when he stabbed Obito after teleporting to him when he hit him with the Rasengan. It is worth pointing out that when Minato fought B was able to see through his attempt to teleport behind him and set up his sword for a mutual strike. But I think it's equally worth pointing out that Minato didn't try his best here and only.
And that's baseless as fuck, because like Minato is said to clash with Killer B and the Raikage several times throughout the war, and he never beat them. It's just stated that they clashed several times, so I don't think Minato's not trying. He literally says, "I can't fail," and then B's already got a sword on him.
They're literally participating in a war!
Yeah, I also think he forgets that Itachi has precog with the Mangekyo Sharingan, so he'll be able to precog what Minato's gonna do. Like, he'll already be ready for it. Yeah, like, he just cover the whole battlefield in Amaterasu. He could use his Susano'o. Like, what if he just pulls out the Susano'o immediately? You gonna try and tag his Susano'o? You gonna put a FTG seal on the Susano'o? Congratulations. You now teleported to the back of the Susano'o that is now impregnable to you. Like, you know? There's just simply no way he's getting past the Susano'o or the Yadomir. He's getting tagged. Like, I think Itachi's legitimately faster than Minato if you use the EMS Sasuke scaling. So it's just like, I don't see him stopping Itachi in any regard. He has no way to win this.
The only thing I would think, like, if we're gonna use this argument that Minato is just so fast that if he comes from you from behind, he's just gonna beat Itachi, I would assume that you would have to then say, like, he would have to be like a sensory type ninja in order to be able to sense like Minato coming if he appears behind him, but B's not a sensory type.
No, this is Ninja 101, bro. Attacking from behind. It's Ninja 101. It's what they do.
Literally, what is literally Kakashi's first.
There's so many times in the novel where I've read recently where Itachi like sneak attacks somebody. He does it all the fucking time, I swear. Like, you guys, I'm gonna break down both of the novels in the Itachi video I'm creating. You guys are gonna love that video, by the way. I go through all the novels, and there's lots of instances where he's like sneak attacking people and stuff and doing crazy stuff like that.
Literally, Kakashi's like first lesson to Naruto was don't let an opponent get behind you. As he proceeds to shove his fingers up his ass.
Yep, exactly. It's not like he doesn't know about the fucking Flying Thunder God, bro. He studied all of the Hokages. It's stated, like, when Itachi's, like, 5 years old, he studied the history of all shinobi up to the Sage of the Six Pads. It's like, okay, that's good to know. That's good for Itachi. So, yeah, he just knows about the Flying Thunder God. Like, he already knows about that, so he'll be ready for it. It's just funny that people think he's really going to do something that Itachi's not ready for, so.
Yeah, like, it's more likely that Itachi is actually going to, like, kind of have, like, a prepped-out situation in his mind, like, knowing, like, Minato's full arsenal, like, near full arsenal, while Minato knows fuck all about Itachi.
Yep. It's literally stated that he, like, knows about ninjutsu, he knows about sage jutsu, he knows about sage barriers, he knows about, which I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about, he knows about, like, the statement is so ridiculous, and it's stated he researched this when he was 5, bro. When he was 5 years old. And he read, like, the history of the shinobi up to the Sage of the Six Pads. And it's like, some people don't even think the Sage of the Six Pads is real in Naruto, bro. They think he's, like, some mythical legend. Itachi at 5 was already, like, knowledgeable about him.
And they're just talking about how, like, at age 5, he already had the mindset of an Hokage.
Yes.
And people are, like, trying to glorify Minato's fucking intelligence by saying he's had the fastest... he performed the best on the tests.
The written test, yeah. I mean, it is a good feat.
And he was the fastest to complete, like, the Forest of Death.
That's not true. That's not true. It's stated that he did the best on the written test. Itachi, like, missed one question, which I guess does mean he's, like, I don't know, something. He's better than maybe 9-year-old Itachi or whatever the fuck it was that took the tuning exams.
Well, it was just like, what question even was it? Like,
Who knows? Maybe Itachi intentionally messed it up. Who knows? But yeah, that was the only thing you can argue. Maybe Minato has like one up. He got one more question right than him on the written exam. But Itachi had the fastest Chunin exams run. It was broken by Gaara.
Nate said, like, Minato's gonna shit his pants when he tries to Rasengan that magic shield and it doesn't break.
Yeah, dude, the Susano'o.
It's
Like,
just
wow,
like,
what is he gonna Susano'o or is he gonna Rasengan the Susano'o? Like, what Itachi could literally punch him with the Susano'o and make him explode. Like,
he's just like, man, I did like that like weird ass clash with the Nine Tails in that Mindscape like several years ago.
no man,
And
I was start with
I
that
was able
shit.
to live, but I'm not moving.
He gets hit with his own Rasengan, yeah, because the Yadomir would reflect it back at him. He'd like hit it, and his like arm shoots back around and lands in his face. His own head explodes. Like,
Yeah.
Held B at knife point rather than teleporting to him with an attack like he's been shown to do. It's possible that maybe he hadn't put that tactic into play yet in his Jonin years, as he also doesn't do that with the Stone Shinobi and Kakashi Gaiden, but I'm talking about Hokage Minato anyway, so that doesn't really matter to me. At this point,
he acts like there's
one
really
Kage-
much of a difference between them, bro. They're the same fucking person.
Different. So different.
Yeah.
I really do fucking hate how much people can be like, no, that's Jonin Minato. Hokage Minato is just so different. And it's just like, yeah, based off of what?
He literally becomes the Hokage after, like, as soon as the war is over. Like, after he does that battle where he, like, ends the war or whatever, he's promoted to Hokage. Like, it's not like it's some serious time gap. There's less of a time gap between Hokage Minato and Jonin Minato than there is between part 1 and part 2. Like, it's just not even close. So, yeah, I don't know.
Again, if you're going, people are going to demonstrate this whole thing that, like, Hokage Minato is, in fact, like, that much, like, above Jonin, you have to prove it. Like, you can't just be like, oh, it was just obvious. It's Hokage Minato, bro.
Yep.
It's Hokage Minato.
Exactly.
Anything left to discuss on Itachi's side. You have Amaterasu, which should be able to burn Minato if it lands, and his Genjutsu that Minato only has counters for and no real resistance to. Minato has Sealing Jutsu on his side to help get rid of Itachi, but I think it's more likely he tried to get Itachi the same
What
way
sealing?
he did Obito, the Raikage, and the Stone Ninja,
What sealing
which is
jutsu?
by
No, his
finding
makeup sealing
some
for him.
time to hit them from a blind spot. This becomes increasingly more easy if Minato happens to lay a hand on Itachi, since he can just teleport to him.
Literally, the whole basis of the Shuriken Jutsu is being able to hit blind spots. Like, that's what it's for. He's always distracting opponents with crows and shit, and like getting them off track. Like, he tricks, like, Killer B, who's, like, relative to KCM1 Naruto, with a crow clone. Edo Itachi does. So, yeah, it's just...
not like Itachi also has, like, one of the strongest sealing jutsus in the entire series. Literally, in his arsenal.
Yeah, if anyone's getting
Just
sealed
go,
here,
like,
it's Minato, bro.
Yeah, literally, Minato, the supposed master of sealing that learned so much from his wife, is getting unironically sealed by Itachi.
Yeah, it's
Him
not
whenever
good, bro.
he wants, which sort of takes one of Itachi's main win cons out of the discussion, that being the Susanoo. Itachi really only used the Susanoo as a late game option while he's alive, more than likely due to stamina restraints, but
Or because he's holding back against Sasuke.
if he does summon
Man, this is stupid. Literally, bro, the first thing he does with Sasuke is he uses a Susanoo arm to grab Sasuke and befriend him. That's the first thing he does. He uses a Susanoo. He uses a Susanoo immediately against Kabuto. Now, you can say it's because he has regenerating chakra pool, yada, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter. Edo Itachi, in character, uses a Susanoo immediately against, like, almost immediately against Nagato and immediately against Sasuke and Kabuto. He uses them both very quickly.
It's almost like he tailors whatever, like, jutsu he's using, depending on who he's fighting against. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
And not that he just
fight for some-
uses the Susanoo as a last resort move.
Yep. Let's
just
finish this shit off, man.
against Minato is going to have to try and wait it out, dodging attacks, since he has no reliable way
Wait
to
it
bypass
out?
the Susanoo, and on top of that, the Yadomir. The Susanoo's relevance in this fight is entirely dependent on if Minato has already touched Itachi, or if Itachi pulls it out earlier in the fight than he usually does. I think the Amaterasu win con could become
Hold on,
more
pause.
likely if Itachi.
What you want?
This is all. This is all assuming that Minato doesn't become retarded like he was against Obito and just looks in Itachi's eyes by mistake.
Yeah. He showed a panel of him looking at Obito in the eye directly. If he does that to Itachi, bro, he loses the sick Itachi. Like he gets Yukio made.
Like, Six is going throughout this entire explanation, being like, yeah, Minato's just going to be dodging around like the battlefield the whole time, just avoiding Itachi until eventually his stamina wears down, and then he's going to attack him when the Susano'o eventually wisps away. And it's just like, oh yeah, we're just going to be assuming that his eyes are just going to be looking at the ground while he's just blipping around.
Literally, you know, Itachi fights someone in the tuning exams named Nimue, and the way he fights is exactly how you just described. He just avoids all of his attacks, doesn't attack him a singular time, and his name's Nimue because that means sleepy in Japanese, because the dude like falls asleep and fights off of pure instinct during the battle. He's like an ultra instinct little like tuning exams dude, and he's like in the tournament of the tuning exams, you know, when he's fighting them. And, like, Itachi doesn't attack him a singular time. He just makes him miss the whole time. And, like, every time he slightly wakes up, he kept, like, casting Genjutsu on him to put nightmares in his mind. And, like, every time, like, he fell back asleep, he'd have, like, a Genjutsu nightmare. And he'd wake back up. And he eventually just, like, his psyche, like, collapsed. And he, like, fell over to the ground and was like, oh, make it stop. I don't want to die. And he started saying that shit. And, like, Itachi never even touched him the whole fight. And he just, like, fell over and lost. And that dude quit being a ninja because of it. When Itachi was, like, 9.
He literally made him end his own career.
Yeah, he ended his career. And from the perspective of the stands, when they were watching Itachi, they were just like, dude, he didn't even touch him. They were just looking at him, like, just dodge around. This kid just, like got bodied. Like, he was just like, what happened? So, yeah, Itachi is the only one character who would do something like that.
One on fire. If he's unsuccessful in his guessing attempt, then obviously he just drained his stamina and his own eyesight, making Minato all the more likely to win. That's really the thing with this versus battle. For the most part, there are a lot of factors that could change the course of this fight in Itachi's favor, but a lot of them require you to be pretty generous to Itachi, like him accurately guessing which kunai Minato will teleport to, him using his Susano'o early, and the most reliable win con is definitely Genjutsu, which, like I said,
it's kind of interesting that you just didn't even talk about speed.
Resistance to it if he does get hit. If it's Tsukuyomi, Minato is cooked. But
which kind of makes sense considering this is apparently a one draft.
They could potentially snap him out of the Genjutsu. But again, there are a lot of things undetermined in this fight. If you want to know who I think will win more consistently, I'd say Minato, since his win con is far more likely, quite literally just being touched.
Seemed like he was just talking about Sekitachi. He never brings up Edo. He didn't bring up any speed feats, though, so that's kind of weird. Like, if he thinks that they're, like, he's kind of, like, going under the guise that they're relative, though. So if they're relative, Sekitachi would win. Like, he would just body. If you argue Minato speed blitzes, that's the only way he wins. But yeah, Itachi would just walk through this motherfucker, honestly. Like, prime Edo. And, like, he just walks through him. It's not even close.
The fact that we were talking about how, like, Sage Mode Naruto from the Pain arc could take on fucking Minato. How the fuck is is he taking on somebody like Itachi?
He's not.
When that motherfucker literally came across Naruto like once post that whole interaction, and was literally just immediately put him into Genjutsu. This is the same Naruto that has been told grossly over like several times over. Don't look that motherfucker in the eyes. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't, like, when you come against a Sharingan user, and he still got put under Genjutsu.
Yep. He's gonna lose. That's it, Surfbone.
We're saying that Minato is also just gonna be able to not look him in the eyes and just get put under Tsukuyomi and die.
Yeah. Boys, I'll show you the next video I want to peep. We're gonna probably watch this one. I saw this one and it caught my eye. Not the Toji versus the Culling Games. Where is it?
Which one are you looking for?
Where is it? Rank the Hokage. Yeah, I want to watch this one. I want to watch that one for y'all. Not tonight. We already watched the video today, so I'm all sixed out. I can't watch any more 6. So we'll watch this one
I
another
think
time.
Yeah, I think someone in chat's like, are they just not going to watch the ranking the Hokage one? And
Dude,
like,
it's
we'll get
49
to that.
minutes.
We'll get there.
It's 49 minutes. We'll come back. We'll come back in a few days and we'll watch it. I'm not going to take as long of a stream break this time for y'all. I'm going to come back maybe this weekend. We got a little nice short stream today. We'll hit another one this weekend.
Hell yeah.
So, Minato can't even hurt Itachi when he literally got partially hit by the strongest fighting style, lightning style. That is true. He reacted to a light speed attack, near death and blind from Kirin. That is also like the most powerful lightning style in existence. Not lightning style, like just it's like the strongest jutsu. The stronger than everything that can be created with a change in nature. And he arguably did it in base. If you argue that Itachi's durability is that good, he could beat Minato too. Like even sick Itachi would beat Minato. But yeah, I honestly think that Itachi's Susano'o activation could potentially subvert the speed blitz of Minato too. So literally, like, Minato's only win con is if it's sick Itachi and he speed blitzes immediately, doesn't give Itachi the chance to do anything. That's the only way he wins. So, and if you give Itachi just a little bit of the benefit of the doubt with some kind of arguments, you can say that he wins easily. So, especially Edo Itachi. Edo Itachi wins 10 out of 10 times. It's a fucking stomp. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the stream. Me and Surfbone haven't been back in a while, but we're going to come back again probably this weekend, maybe. Maybe not Surfbone. If Surfbone wants to come, he's more than welcome to.
Yeah.
We're going to hit a stream this weekend. We'll probably watch this Hokage ranking video. You want to, Surfbone?
Yep.
Alright, we'll watch this Hokage ranking video this weekend. I'm going to start streaming for y'all more consistently. I'm going to try to hit at least one stream a week for y'all. And I'm going to get hype, and I even have like an idea, and I'm not gonna say what it is yet, but let's just say I might be getting on face cam again. All right, and we're gonna have a donation goal, and I have an idea of exactly what I want to do. So I gotta get some props. So I gotta get a few things. That's the only thing. So I got some ideas for the streams. I'm gonna make sure to work on that Itachi video too. I know I've been putting that off for a while. It's not that I haven't been working on it. I actually have 2 other collabs that I've finished, and they're done. They're like completely done. I just have to actually, one of them I have to readdress the outro with, and they're with 2 very large YouTubers, 2 separate very large YouTubers. So those collabs are gonna come out in the next week. I know I keep saying that. I don't know exactly when they'll come out. But those 2 collabs are absolutely finished. One of them is a Naruto and One Punch Man video. The other one is a Naruto and Bleach video. So y'all will be able to see exactly what my takes are on those topics too. So I got quite a few content coming out. Stay tuned. We'll be back, boys. So appreciate everybody that donated tonight too. Appreciate all that. That's really good stuff. So that shit helps me. It's the rank the Hokage. I knew it. Yep. Exactly. W stream. Appreciate it, Loco. One thing that's underrated about Itachi's toolkit is that if you avoid eye contact, you don't know when he's using Amaterasu. But if you look at Itachi's eyes, you're at risk of Tsukuyomi. Yes.
That is a very good point too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
can catch you off guard real easy. You got to look at their feet.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? So 6 just does not like fucking understand. Like, did he not just never mention the whole idea? Because when he was saying, like, oh yeah, so Minato just throws his kunais around, and he's just trying to do a stamina battle with freaking Itachi. And he's like, it's like, oh, when Minato's just gonna be teleporting, and Itachi's not gonna know where. And it's like, why would he need to know where when he can just cover everything in Amaterasu?
Yeah, he literally could just cover the battlefield in it.
And now, and especially if like,
or if he just puts a Susano'o on it. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Now it's like, Minato can't get into range.
Yeah.
And then say if Minato has to get far, like somehow is able to blip away out of where the Amaterasu somewhere outside, you know what Itachi has? It's a long range jutsu that can shoot things from thousands of kilometers away. And snipe that bitch.
Itachi can also deflect the kunai to keep Minato from touching them. That's actually facts, bro. He could like use a shuriken jutsu and deflect the kunai and like knock them back. That is straight facts. Itachi doesn't even need mutual eye contact to use Genjutsu according to the novel. Yeah, it just says that their gazes have to intersect. So you don't even have to look them in the eyes. Your gaze just has to intersect. You know, if you think about, like, your gaze is like a line from your eyes straight out, right? So as long as those lines are interconnecting, bro, it's like, yeah. So that's why they say you have to look at their feet. That's why Guy looks at their feet, because your gaze can't even intersect. Itachi tricks both Sage Kabuto and EMS Sasuke with the Crow clone to set up the Izanami. Yeah. And he tricks Killer Bee with one. So, 3 ninjas that are just all like KCM level, KCM 1 level, and Minato level.
Yeah, and this is somebody who's like Orochimaru's protege.
Like, Minato goes to, like, teleport and stab Itachi, and then it's just crows flying away. Like, that's what would happen.
Kabuto literally came up with, like, he already had, like, a strategy in place if Itachi happened to win rogue by being able to go blind and still be able to perform jutsu and fight and everything. And he still lost. While, like, Itachi was forced to not kill him since he had to make it so he has to release the Edo Tensei so that the war ends. Like,
facts.
This is Minato has never had a better, like, combat IQ moment than Itachi. Literally, name me one better IQ, like, moment than fucking Itachi.
Maybe say figured out the Kamui, but that's his best feat. And even then, it's like, Itachi's done so much, it's crazy.
It's as if, like, Itachi hasn't already...
End of story, boys. Itachi is him. Go ahead.
Actually, remember this, Noodles. Itachi literally told Obito to his face, it's not a matter of if I will kill you. I will kill you.
Yeah. The man that, like, 14-year-old Obito saw through everything Minato was capable of. Damn, I didn't even think about that argument, bro. Wait a minute. Hold on. So you're telling me if adult Orange Mask Obito was so scared shitless of Itachi that he wouldn't even approach the Leaf Village, and he thinks that Itachi would whoop his ass, that means that, like, Obito, who is superior to Minato at this point, because 14-year-old Obito apparently saw through all of Minato's moves, as admitted by Minato himself. So this means that Itachi could body the fuck out of him. Easy. It's over, boys. It's over.
You know what this sounds like, Noodles?
Sick Itachi bodies, I agree.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's just that if you happen to do a stream of a first draft of a Minato versus Itachi video, you would have made a better one.
Exactly. That's why you go over this shit, boys. That way you can remember shit. Because this was all off the cuff. I didn't remember everything off the cuff. So, yes, Itachi does, in fact, beat the fuck out of Minato 10 out of 10 times, even when he's sick. It's crazy.
Also, this is just, like, my own standards for making videos. And I'm sure Noodles has this as well. But the fact that, like, Six just kind of willfully, like, lets his audience know that he's not giving it his best whenever he's, like, putting out this stuff by literally doing them on streams and saying that he's doing them as a first draft and not even going over them with other people, or
it just shows he's not trying, you know.
He's not trying with.
It's disappointing too, because he has 103,000 subs and he's living off this. Like, dude, you should put some passion into it, man. Like, he's admitted to having ghostwriters in the past. I'm not coming at him for having ghostwriters, but at the end of the day, you've admitted to having ghostwriters. You've just shown blatantly on stream that you only do one draft for your videos. You're only doing, like, a 15-minute video on Itachi versus Minato when they have so much more to them than that, you know? You are dropping mad content, I will give you that. Like, you have a good work ethic when it comes to producing content, but even then, it's like, you're just hiring people to edit your videos, and you're like doing one drafts, you know. So I don't know. I just feel like you have a lot more in the tank that you could be doing, and you're not. You're choosing not to. So it is what it is. We'll watch another 6 video next time. So I'll see all y'all later, chat. Tachi bodies the shit out of me.
Peace. See ya, boys.
See y'all.